Hello! This is finally working. Hi. Oh, you know what? I've just realized that I can't sit up straight like this. This is a problem. I'm going to be leaning way forward into this. I need to adjust this. Pardon me while you get a good view of my crotch. I love you guys, but not that much. Just there. Let's see if we can make this work a little better. Oh, hi. Hi, Scott, how's it going? I am just trying to get everything set up. So this means I need to figure out how to see. I want to see the live messages here. Oh, we do. Look. View on YouTube. Great, we should be able to view this. So, hi, everybody. And you got it. Okay, we got moderation here and everything. That is marvelous. So yeah, we're gonna build the new Lego International Space Station because I went into the city, San Francisco, first thing this morning to pick it up. They only had like 10 of them, they said, and they were already selling them, so might be none left as far as I know. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Lego. I'm a big fan of spaceships, and I've got the Lego Saturn V over there. I've got the Lego Lunar Module, so this is the next part of that kit. I also have a little Lego Space Shuttle, which I bought this in a separate kit because actually, in terms of size, it's closer to what the what the one that should be with this is. So this just came out today. The story about this is that it was a Lego Ideas proposal, which got the 10,000 votes, but was ultimately rejected. And for the 10th anniversary of Lego Ideas, they said, hey, let's bring back the ones that were rejected and see who's interested in, who wants to vote for them. And so the Lego ISS had previously been rejected, but then it came back and it's just released. So what do we have? We have bag 4, bag 1, bag 2, bag 5, bag 3. By the way, because I got really sick, and that's really unfortunate. So yes, Lego Ideas manual. Now the Saturn V manual had a lot of cool stuff in it, and this does as well. So we can see nice pictures of the real thing. Many nations, shared intentions. It is truly astounding to think nearly 16 times a day, and I'm going to move this out the way, the International Space Station orbits Earth on a continuous path of discovery. The space station is truly international collaboration between 5 space agencies: NASA, Roscosmos, JAXA, ESA, and CSA, because of course they needed a robotic arm. Utilizing their technological strengths, hence the robotic arm, the participating countries work together under the umbrella of the International Space Station program to achieve common goals to benefit all mankind and go where no man has gone before. The 15 nations involved, wait, they just said 5 nations, produce global leadership to advance human exploration, enable scientific research that benefits humanity, and establishes a robust low Earth orbit economy. In parallel to achieving these goals, the partnership also utilizes the space station's unique platform to provide science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM, let's also add in art as well to make it STEAM, resources to educate the next generation of leaders and space explorers. Oh my god! Zeke has actually given me $5. I'm like, dude, legend! Thank you very much! Yeah, you have the Saturn B or Saturn V. Wow. I totally don't do live chat, so this is my first time I've done a live thing in a really long time. And so I should probably check some chat messages after I finish reading the cool stuff in here. I just want to see. The first SM live stream sounds wrong. I know. S&M. Just want to say dark matter is BS. You know what? It's not, because if it was BS, we would have found it in space. Thank you, Constantine, as well, for your donation. I very much appreciate it. So, research in space. What happens on board the space station is also astonishing. The station has maintained a continuous human presence in space since November 2000. That means this year is the 20th anniversary of the International Space Station. And the box, actually, somewhere on it says 20th anniversary. Somewhere. ISS 20. ISS 20. I hope the resolution on this is fine. So, yes, 20 years. And I did figure out oh my god, Zeke, another donation! Oh my god, I don't know what to do with all this stuff. You guys are amazing. You guys really are. Especially after the story of how I sort of spent $33,000 of game money, not real money, on a video game thing. And I am actually going to go to FanFest and meet fans and talk about spaceships and asteroids and all these things that I love. And I hope to see some of you guys there. Anyway, so the astronauts on board have performed thousands of investigations dedicated to areas of Earth and space science, biology, human physiology, physical sciences, and technology demonstrations. As NASA states, the International Space Station is a state-of-the-art microgravity laboratory that is unlocking discoveries not possible on Earth and helping us push further into deep space. Research on this immense orbiting laboratory, the largest spacecraft ever built, is investigating how we can send humans further into space, to the moon, to Mars, and to explore the frontiers of knowledge. Thank you for everyone sending congratulations. Sean Hufford, the reason you're getting 720p is because I have to put it on, I put it on an old iPhone because I need this iPhone here. I basically don't want my kids phoning me in the middle of the stream and ruining the live stream. That's why it's running on a separate phone. And that means 720p. Good things come in pairs. Sebastian Branch, thank you very much. And Sam Stoner, oh my goodness. Steve Worrell, oh wow. Hi gals, Malcolm? Wait, who's Malcolm? Anyway, yeah, this was designed by Christopher Rouge, I'll say Ruga. There he is. And he was signing it last night he was signing it the day before. That's how we actually knew this was coming, because there was a flyer that went out. So yeah, it gets to tell all about it. I like how they've got a thing off them. Wow, and they got a whole bunch of like other stuff about the designers. Lego ideas on space. You know what I like is they have this Curiosity rover kit in here. That Curiosity rover kit costs a buttload now because it's only available rarely. So thank you for everyone. Again, you know, let's make this a celebration of 1 million. You know what? I'm going to bring out a beverage. I am sick, but I do feel like a beverage. So this is Town Beer from Oaktown. I no longer live in Oakland, but I very much love what Oakland is and what it represents. And I tell you what, when Black Panther 2 comes out, I'm going to watch it in Oakland because, oh, that was the best movie ever in that town. Okay, so anyway, let's skip forward. 10th anniversary special review, and then they've got the same thing in French and in Spanish. So we now have boxes of bits to kit. So I guess bag one, it shows us the parts, right? First of all, bag one is going to be the spaceships. Bag two is going to be the stand. Bag three is going to start on the truss structure. 4 is going to extend out the modules, and 5 is the solar panels. So this isn't strictly happening in the order that things were launched. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to catch everyone's names. Andre Omelas, thank you. Pat O'Neill. You guys are legends. That's all of you. All of you are marvel. Oh, gosh, I can't keep up with... Andres Omelas, thank you very much. And Twitter at Andreas. Okay, so let's start with the little spaceships. These will be the easy part. Number 1, box 1. Let's put all of these actually here in the box. Oh, one thing I noticed, by the way, is the International Space Station font they use here. I don't know very much about fonts, but that is pretty much a Lego approximation of the worm font. And by the time the ISS was launched, the NASA never was using the worm. Thanks everybody for all your amazing contributions. EOS lives. Donate to the Lonely Rogue Rano, Matthew Fellner. You guys are all amazing. I really, I feel so special. I do have a video that I had planned to record, but I just kept on being too sick. It was about how some amateur radio operators figured out that there were actually secret places to land the Soyuz in the US. So I'm going to break this open. This is to start building the important little pieces here. Huh. And this is where I should have like a second camera if I actually knew what I was doing. John Holleran, thank you very much. Okay, so we get piled. This is to make the dragon capsule and all that. And then there's a tiny bag inside this. This is the bag of the smallest things. Casalumio, orange rocket, good. I have an orange rocket right there. Look, let's bring out the orange rocket. Ah. Da 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 da, orange rocket. Bring that along. The lighting is very hard to do here. Okay. So, yeah, I opened this little one, and the first thing we've got in here are a pair of astronauts. And so I guess we can call, we got them. They're absolutely minuscule, right? So we can call them, what, Christina and... I forget the other one's name. Oh, that's really embarrassing. I remember Anne. Anne was awesome because she played rugby, and I love rugby players. Christina and... never mind. Jessica Mayer, yes! Christina Cook. And Christina Cook was also a Scrabble player. That was the one thing I remember. You know they have board games in space, but they're not allowed to use magnetic board pieces. They actually use... Velcro, and they're allowed to play with that. Okay, so that's these guys. Now we're going to make something that I think this could be a toss-up as to whether it's the Boeing Starliner or it's the Dragon. So this is the second spaceship we build. It's absolutely minuscule. There we go. It's a tiny, 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 tiny spaceship for, that's to dock onto it. And that could be, it could be either or, basically. Thank you, Killer Kriegs. I gotta make sure I get everybody in here. Thank you, Trent, Madcat, Snarfer X, New Neo, David Willis, Eos Lives, Matthew Fellner. You are all amazing. And you know what's funny is I'm clicking on that, it's saying buy your own super chat. So I should buy myself a super chat. Okay, next we're going to build something that I think looks like the European ATV, the transfer vehicle. So we're going to take these, and we're going to stick this on the bottom. And then we're going to plug in a couple of these little things here. So what we're going to do is make little T-pieces on the side, and these are going to hold the solar panels, you see, like this. So the couple of these things come with solar panels. The only thing is the solar panels here are way, way too big. But I like the idea. So that I think this is supposed to be the European ATV. And you know what I should just do is like stick one of these up its butt so you can actually see it. There we go. I wish there was a way to make it focus a little better. It's using the tiny face cam camera, and you know what? Maybe this light up here is too bright. Let me turn it down. I obviously went with like full-on studio light, and I think it's just a little too intense, and it might be overflowing things here. So, how's that look? That looks a little better. Now you can get an idea of what this is, right? Parts, we get astronauts. Neither of them really fit in any of this stuff. Finally, we're going to build a Soyuz. Well, actually, maybe not finally, but next we're going to build something that looks like a Soyuz. So Soyuz, as you know, is a 3-part vehicle. It has a service module, it has a descent module, and then it has an orbit module. Actually, this might not be a Soyuz. This might be a Progress, which is obviously similar to a Soyuz, and I cannot find the sphere. I'm missing a ball here. There we go. So we get a little spherical piece on the top. And next, oh, now it tells us to put on the solar panels, so we'll stick solar panels on this. Svera! Oh my Goodness! Oh wait, $5. I said 50, but no. Sir, yeah, that's great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all your donations. Giant Mad Cat. Okay, I gotta keep checking this out. This is too hard for him. So if I miss a donation, apologies. It is going faster than I expected. You know what? I need to pull this out a little because these need to go in. Uh-oh. There we go. So we get the solar panels on because we're going to have, obviously it has to be a little Soyuz here. Okay, is that it? Oh, I think this one is actually supposed to dock. So that might be why it's so... I would have thought this would have had an extra bit. It just goes to the next page. This to me feels like it should have like one of these on it, but you know. Do any of these have... No, these are all the docking adapters. That seems kind of strange that this thing is so long, but I think this is going to dock to it. So I'm going to say, hold on, if I pull this out apart a little. Well, okay, I'll just hold it like this. You can see this is the Lego approximation of the Soyuz, or the Progress. Thank you, William Swenson. Only a true adult would play in blocks in front of 1,300 viewers. Listen, I am a person that has the surname Manley. Therefore, I am not one who is constantly trying to prove my masculinity or my age or anything else. And it is a really liberating experience to be totally confident in yourself. Trust me. There was a time I was terribly not confident. Oh my goodness, who's this? Just checking. Snarfer X. Okay, so now we're going to build the little space shuttle. The space shuttle, as I said, is the wrong size for this. So we start with these pieces, pop this over the top here. I believe this is very similar in design to the space shuttle that was included with the Women of NASA set, which is a fine little set. Like the minifigs are all kind of pretty cool. The only thing is it does miss Katherine Johnson because her likeness was licensed for a movie, and that is problematic. I'm going to build out the wings. Now I'm going to try and keep a conversation up with as many of you as possible, but it is very hard to pay attention to everything, but I will try because you guys deserve. And if you have any questions specifically about the set or about the International Space Station, you know, I'm happy to try answering those while I play. Okay, so now we put the heat shield on the bottom here. The heat shield is a bunch of circular pieces and they actually hold the model together. Yeah, so basically because the movie Hidden Figures had come along, her likeness was licensed and Lego couldn't get it because it was like, well, you don't have the license for this movie. But she's a real person. Yes, but there's a fictional version of her. Therefore, her likeness was licensed. Yeah, you know, strange things happen like that. I think I must be missing something here. Because it says put that here, but that doesn't work. Oh, wait a second. No, that's... I'm wondering if I've made some sort of... Oh, you know, actually, that's fine. What happens here... I mentally missed a step. So this goes here. We're building this out like this. And we have another securing piece. I don't know why they make this shape. There's not necessarily any reason for it. They will just sometimes use very specific shapes so that you can recognize it in the instructions. Okay. But I do have a video that I will be recording as well as soon as possible. As I said, I've just been sick, and if you've been paying attention to my Twitter, you'll see that I'm also working on some 360 videos showing black hole relativistic ray tracing, and I've been very interested in that subject. So I guess we put another one of these on here. This will be probably to secure the engines, I'm guessing. Or maybe not. The space shuttle one is so far. It's so cute. It's so cute. Yeah, I'm totally okay with this being a Lego channel. And this is not going to be a Lego channel. Don't worry. This is like, if there's a Lego space model that comes out, I always have a lot of love, a lot of people that want to come, and I'll do a proper standalone review of this thing. So don't be worried that if you need to go away or whatever. So there's these cool little things here. I don't. These pieces are really kind of interesting. They're binoculars, I think, or maybe not. Well, anyway, they stick on. Oh, wait a second. Oh, those go. Ah, these pieces are so tight, so tiny. But I had them back to front. I can't believe that. So we do this, and on the other side we do one of these. Can the ISS stay up indefinitely if it gets a regular booster? Is there an end date? There is absolutely an end date. They have to keep on refueling it, but they don't actually refuel it. They just have to keep reboosting it. Originally, they used the Zarya or Zvezda, I forget. No, they used the Zvezda service module to reboost it. But as time went on, they decided they were concerned with the erosion, the potential erosion in the thrusters. So they used the Progress for reboosting. They also used the Space Shuttle, I think, for a while. Now, Dragon and I think ATV is also allowed. Not all the spacecraft that visit the space station can be used for a reboost, but that's a way looking forward. The price of this set is very, very affordable, is what I'm going to say. Okay, so we're almost getting this done here. Space Shuttle nose, Space Shuttle nose. Thomas Husler, beaten due to the punch, blah, blah, blah. Wait a sec. There's a slight problem. The red axle is slightly too long. You'll see. Don't think you've lost your mind. Just a heads up. Thank you. Hey Scott, I'm from Australia. Would love your video. Wish Lego would bring back the Saturn V. Yes. Okay. I need to just do little bits of that. Okay. So now we've got to get the command deck up. This is the little black, you know, what do you call it? It's where the pilots. This is where the cockpit is. Cockpit. Yeah. If you think that's funny, just wait, you know, for the caucuses that are coming up in the coming week, right? Did you know that snakes have two penises? Peni, caucuses. That's really going off. As I said, this stream is not for children, and I occasionally do make silly jokes. Okay, so we're getting close. We're getting close to a very nice little space shuttle here. Gotta put the engines on the back. That's what I'm missing here. Yeah, that's us. So we gotta put on these tiny, and the engines are very simple, right? You take one of these and you put a thing in the middle. Hi, Thomas Heisler is probably, Thomas Heisler. Okay, there we go. Thank you very much. It's very, very hard for me to learn all these things. Trust me, yeah, I constantly get called out on mispronouncing the names of, you know, heroes from Germany and Russia and America and Scotland. I mean, you know, like all of them basically. These pieces are small but perfectly constructed. Yes. Saturn V is available at Barnes and Noble. Yes, the Saturn V set, I'm going to advise you, is retiring soon, and I mean, I believe it might be essentially sold out in some countries. So now we're putting on the engines here, right? This is so beautiful. I mean, I do think it's a very nice little design here. And you can angle them up a little. It's hard to angle them up quite as much as you would like, but this is the space shuttle. Isn't that rather nice? Beautiful. How is the frame rate going? Because it looks a little, unsteady from here. So, and as I said, to compare, I bought this set separately because, in terms of length, they're closer to the actual length it should be for the space station. Connie, proud of your Eve donation. Stuck on Eve's Reddit. I'm whoever people that stuck the magnate on Reddit, or that's the reason I was able to find it. If that was not on Reddit, I would have missed out on that thing, and I would have just donated all my money anyway. So that might have been better, right? Frame rate is stuttery, dropping to about 2 to 3 per second. I'm not sure. So I think we might be having a problem with Comcast. That's best I can suggest. So, sorry about that. Have I watched season 4? I'm presuming you're meaning The Expanse. I have, but I was playing No Man's Sky at the same time. Sound is faultless though. Yes? Yes. Frame rate's good for you. Okay. Live FPS is glitchy and juddery. I don't know how to fix this. This is what happens. You move to the countryside and things happen. And we get to do... I'm just checking. Coney, Simon Shaw with Thomas Hughes, Lauren, Mr. Robocopter. You literally just finished the assembly square, and now I'm watching this. Thank you very much for tuning in. Okay, I'm going to put these trash pieces here. We're going to build the stand, which is far less interesting than the Stephen King's book, The Stand. Right? So, maybe we should put on The Stand or something. You got No Man's Sky 2. Any tips getting into it? No, just play it like you don't really care. Why use 2 pairs of constantly working ion engines? 2 to rise the power, 2 to peak, and then peaking when shut it. Wow, I don't know what you're talking about. Sound is starting to drop now. No! No! This is... Are you kidding? Are you kidding? What am I drinking? I'm drinking Town beer. It's nice. Wow, we're half an hour into the stream. Are you excited for the lunar occultation of Mars? Maybe, if I can see it. That really tends to be... When I can see it, it's great. When I can't see it, I'm sort of like, nah. You guys can have fun with it. But it's very hard. Okay, so some of you are having dropouts and some of you are not. So what I'm guessing is that I'm fine. YouTube is just being a little crazy. So we're going to build the stand. So, yeah, anybody else have some cool questions about the International Space Station? Oh, by the way, International Space Station. That's right. I like how the stand is built out of Lego. I'm just going to go with it. Because, I've started now. What am I going to do? I'm going to have a badly edited thing. The worst that happens is I then take it and I do a montage where I time-lapse it and then actually talk about the model. I'm doing this. It's great. Is the capture with the solar panels the SpaceX Cargo Dragon in the Lego set? So, no, it doesn't look like it. I think... This is the nearest they have to the Dragon, right? But it doesn't have the fins, right? If you think about it. Because it does have something... It could be either... I mean, it's sort of 50-50 as whether it's the Boeing Starliner or whether it's the Dragon. You see, it could be one or the other. And it does have a black bottom, which makes it look like the... the space, whatchamacallit, the Starliner. So I don't know. I think they upgraded the main computer. Yes, they have, I believe. Actually, so no, they haven't. Sorry, but they did upgrade. I was thinking for a second. They did upgrade the computer on the space shuttle. So that's not what this. I believe that they are still using the same laptops that they were supposed to use 20 years ago, which is an IBM laptop. And I actually went online to try and buy that specific laptop, and they're expensive for what they are. Okay, so I gotta put these on here. And same thing here. So we're just building this standout. Yeah, so there's a lot of different computers. Obviously, the ISS has it like control computers, and um, it has like computers that are specifically assigned to experiments. Everything's all in its own special network and everything. How to connect with your child. Let me tell you, my kids are like downstairs probably watching a horror movie or something. They've had a long day at home, so like that's what's going on. But I'm a big fan of Lego. Oh, wait a second, that one's too long. That's interesting. Oh, this is too long. Ah, I know what I've done wrong here. I have made an error. But that's fine. I will keep this going. Two pairs of ion engine offset ISS, constant thrust. So yeah, ion engines would be one way, and there's a lot of systems that look to using constant ion engines, but there are problems or concerns with using ion engines because it can lead to the space station picking up a charge. And they work very hard to make sure the space station doesn't pick up a net electric charge, because the last thing you want is an astronaut floating away from the space station, coming back and getting a massive electric shock, which is a real possibility. So they have these gizmos called plasma contactors, and they essentially emit xenon ions to ensure that the space station is the same voltage as the plasma around the Earth. Otherwise, it will constantly build up charge and bad things can happen. Okay, so we're going to build these. I'm just doing this here. Are you optimistic for Gateway? Will it be continuously manned? No, it won't be continuously manned. It's a very specifically a thing you go up for a short time. It's a staging area. It's like an expedition wouldn't spend all their time at base camp, and base camp isn't even necessarily continuously manned or crewed. I am interested in Axiom. They have been contracted to build or they've basically won a contract. Is that a contract? They're going to build 2 commercial modules onto or 3 commercial modules onto the front of the space station, making it a space hotel. I'm not actually sure if who's paying the money for these, where the funding is coming from. What I do know is that they're being built by Thales in Europe, who, of course, they built a lot of the modules originally on the ISS. And so at least the fabrication side is being done by someone who's experienced with building the space station. But yeah, they're going to dock 3 modules onto the front of the space station, including an even better version of the cupola module, right? So you'll be able to sit inside this and it'll open up like a flower, right? So if you imagine, there'll be like a phone booth kind of thing that you can get into, and it'll open up like this with windows on every side, and you'll be able to look out and see the world being amazing. Let's see. David Willis, thank you very much. SLS greater than Starship. Ooh, controversial. Controversial. Max Wichilt. Yes. Thank you. So yeah, anyway, one of the ideas was for I forget the name. Oh, the ion engine. The what's the story with that shirt? It's me. Do you see me being consumed by the Kraken? It says hello 39. Nothing is beyond the Kraken. It's an homage to NROL 39, where the patch said nothing is beyond our reach, and it's like holy shit, yeah. Okay, so we gotta build more of these things. Pardon me, we're just getting distracted here. I am trying to remember the name of this engine. but they were talking about sending it to the space station because it needs a lot of power. It uses a magnetic nozzle, and it can operate in low power or low efficiency or high efficiency mode. Vasimir, that's it. Variable specific impulse magnetos something or other. Magnetic thruster. Um, so that was going to be on the space station, and that was argued for a while that that would be a good way for the space station to adjust, continually raise its orbit, being more efficient. But that hasn't panned out right now, and it's not clear whether it will actually get to the ISS at all. And the problem is the ISS is basically the only place where they can actually test it, since it needs so much power. Franklin Chang Diaz is the astronaut that is in charge of this. So now we've got these, and we need to stick one of these in and then pop it in here. This is the stand getting built up. Minecraft is getting weird. Well, let me tell you, I don't know if any of you remember Robert Cringely. At one point he did a Kickstarter thing to create a commercial Minecraft server, and he's now got a plan for a space launch service that will launch 6 or 12U CubeSats, very small CubeSats, but they'll be able to launch them within a day's notice. If you basically you ship it, you've got it, we're going to launch it. And their launch vehicle is a set of solid rocket motors, and they're going to be airlifted by F-104 starfighters going in like a very steep climb, supersonic at 70-odd thousand feet or so. So they claim. They claim this is possible. I really look forward to seeing that, because I think that's hella fun to have jet fighters doing supersonic climbs to start the launch of spacecraft. Like, it means they can be a little more efficient on the size of their launch vehicle compared to Virgin Galactic. Virgin Galactic obviously carry their spacecraft on a 747, so that doesn't get as big a climb. I just want to make sure. Sap, please, thank you for your time and everything, for your money, your donation. I just don't know how to handle all these donations, but I love you. Oh. How do flat earthers reconcile the existence of an orbiting space station? They think it's fake, and then when I show them measurements, they claim that I faked the measurements. And then I said, well, you can go and measure it yourself. They say, but that's too complicated. So they're sort of basically saying that regardless what evidence I throw at them, they're not going to believe it. At that part, I usually start implying they're Satanists, because that usually the flat earthers are also, crazy fundamentalist Christians, and that really confuses them. So, I just decide to go my own way. Frankly, if you're a Christian arguing that the universe is tiny and inside a bubble, I think that is a way of diminishing the universe, which is an assault on God as far as I'm concerned. So therefore, if anybody argues the earth is flat, they are Satanists. I'm not really a scholar of religion, so you can take that argument whatever way you like, but I think that respect to people who do the right thing. that mission is not, this shirt is not a real mission. It is an NRO. Yes, exactly. I think AZ says he's a Christian and the universe is giant. And there is a line and phrase in the Bible, and it's actually inscribed on Werner von Braun's tomb. It says, the stars declare the glory of God. And then that was actually the motto of the observatory I was at. And I've always felt that making the universe great is the best way to show that creation is awesome, right? Regardless of whether you believe in God or not, it's in your interest to have the universe be as big and amazing as possible, right? That's what I'm saying. Anyway, trying to not get too deeply into religion, because obviously it's a thing where people can definitely argue and split up, and I prefer to celebrate what we have in common rather than fight over our differences. And sometimes that can be very hard, but let's just not get too far in that direction. I just love the fact that you're all here and just listening. So yeah, I was at the Armagh Observatory, which was a an observatory which was founded by the church 200 something years ago. I don't know if you know this story. And again, we're sort of getting into religion here, but you know, it was, how do you put this? The idea was that the church had sort of wanted to establish just, you know, what is the nature of the universe, because that helps establish the nature of God. So that's sort of their argument. And yeah, I was there. Should I get EVE Online? Oh dear, 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 dear. EVE Online now is a lot easier because you can play it for free and you can actually get into battleships and things like that. So it can become a hideous time sink. That's all I'm going to say. As much as I love the game, I am very much aware of the dangers of that and how much time it can take from you. Kerbal Space Program is something I would recommend first because Kerbal has a whole lot more actual science behind it. I'm going to say that, but you do have to pay for Kerbal, so that's the other thing. Earth is round, the universe is flat. Ooh, controversial. So, wait, Icelandic, yes, Ziggy. Ziggy, I have been announced as a special guest for FanFest, and I am very much looking forward to coming to Iceland. And actually, I'm going to make a whole vacation of it. So if there's cool science things such as volcanoes, let me know. I'm really excited to come with the whole family. I've just got to time out the user. I'm just going to time out a user. So we have the International Space Station Pluck. Check out those hexagonal extrusion things. What? So how do you do this? I guess this goes at the back, at the top. International Space Station. Bingo! Look at that! It's got a little plaque on it and everything. Look at that. A space station truly is going to need something to lift it up. I must go to Eyjafjallajökull and pronounce it. Yes, I must. I think I will actually practice it. Okay, so now we got to extend out the base a little more. So this is like another section. Okay, so we're gonna... Oh, I gotta count these holes here. So wait a second. It's starting here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Bingo. And then 2 more. And then this one. So is everybody excited for the Suburb Owl tomorrow? Because San Francisco 49ers are, and I don't have to split my loyalties anymore now that you know, the Raiders are in Las Vegas. I mean, of course, Raider Nation is sort of wherever you take it, but they're not in Oakland. Yeah, I'm kind of... I'm not a huge fan of Helmet Ball, but I very much enjoy watching the Superb Owl with all my friends. I used to be a hardcore American football Helmet Ball fan, as they say, but I moved to America, and that kind of changed it. Iceland doesn't have interesting science, but the geology there defines interesting science. So I love volcanoes, but I don't really know that much about them. I will say the last time I went to a place with a famous volcano, the volcano erupted just as I left, so maybe I should be careful. Football is an American rugby. There's another way to put it, yes. Lego is addictive, and it's not just the sets. It's nice to have the sets, but the great thing is, even if you don't design your own sets, as you sort of play with it, you start to find new and cool ways that people have built stuff with it, and you sort of, I don't know, you get an appreciation for design technique, even if you don't have the breadth of language in Lego to come up with the designs yourself. Because, you know, it is kind of a language to express yourself. Any word whenever KSP2 is coming out. All I've heard was that in a 2K, you know, quarterly earnings thing, they had changed the date to later in the year. But I will be clear, when I did meet the guys, I was like, you guys, you take as long as you like, right? Because I don't want them to rush it. I want it to be content full. I want the problems to be addressed. You were the man that got me into KSP. I hope your model goes together well. Well, so far, so good. So this is the way we do this. And now I need to put one of these little vent mark things on it here. And one of these flat ones. As I said, for those of you who have just come in, I am still quite sick, but I'm having a beer because I'm doing ill-advised things. It's just, you know, it happens. Okay, 2 of these things. Lego seats going together. How do you think it's going to take to build it? Well, I'm in bag 2 of 6, so, you know, a couple of hours. I'm talking a lot as well. What is your opinion on Brexit? My opinion is the world should be erasing borders rather than creating borders, because the economics typically ends up being better for everyone involved. But that's merely me looking at economics and history. What do I know? But yeah, I'm Scottish. Like, Scotland very much voted against that. Okay, so this goes over the top. I mean, I understand that people have different opinions, and I'm not living there anymore. Like, I find it unfortunate because I would like my kids to be able to get nice European passports, but, you know, it is what it is, and I don't live there. Okay, okay, now we gotta get 2 of these things. Okay, these things. Uh-oh. No! No, I've lost a piece. Darn it. Okay, we're currently short a piece. That's unfortunate. It'll probably turn up. Or not. It's not like any of you guys are going to be able to see where it went. It's like not as if it's something I can't find. So, oh no, I do need this piece right away as well. So we're going to have to come back to this. I'm going to stick this... Yeah, I'm going to stick this... You know what? I actually have one piece that's sort of going to work. I'm going to put this in. It's not part of this. So I can do this. Do you think they should extend the ISS life? Yes, I think the ISS should be kept in orbit until it completely falls apart, right? That's... I think the ISS should just be like an ongoing base for where they build and construct and make things happen. What the heck is going on here? Oh, that's what goes on. This goes on here. And then we put 2 of these little things on to make it look stylish. And that's this piece done. What a stand! There. Do you think Stephen King would be proud of the stand? Do you think we could make a mini-series about that? Do you think they should sell the ISS to SpaceX? I don't know if SpaceX wants to buy the ISS, but I think that the ISS should absolutely be considered for sale to people who are interested in putting real money into it. And let's be clear, the prices that have been published for ISS access have been very much subsidized. The Delta 4 model was a personal gift from Tori Bruno. I say personal. He sent me a card. Look, it says, thank you. See that? From ULA, and it says, Tori Bruno. There. So he sent me, ULA sent me a couple of models. And I'm happy he sent congratulations via Twitter for the 1 million followers. So yes! Any events possible meet fans in the Bay Area, I will let you know via Twitter. I constantly, when things happen, I will be at Games Developers Conference. So if you're at any of those events, let me know and I'll try and get to whatever one you're at. GDC is one of these things that I still go to because I love video games, and more importantly, I love talking about video games with the people that design the video games. And GDC is definitely that. I'm very much on the technical side of things. I don't ever actually want to write games myself, but I'm so happy to talk to people who do write video games themselves. So we're starting to build the truss. This is the backbone of the space station. It was also called the keel in the original Space Station Freedom design. Okay, so obviously Space Station Freedom was simplified and cheapened, and it turned into the ISS. It was called Space Station Freedom, and then it turned to Space Station Alpha because President Clinton came into office and was like, oh my god, I thought you guys were like conservatives. Why are you spending all this money on all this stuff? We're not going to get any of it. Oh, it's all pork money. And then it was like, so yeah, they basically realigned NASA's priorities to be a little less pork oriented and created Space Station Alpha. It's amazing to see how often presidents come into power and then they're like, what the heck are you guys doing? This doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we're going to do this. And they end up having to cancel a whole bunch of stuff. And they get blamed. like everybody did. Reagan did it. Bush did it. Clinton did it. Bush did it. Obama did it. But equally, they all created their own, new things. It's sort of, politics is just, unfortunately, how the sausage gets made. And, whatever a candidate's stated policies, it's frequently they don't actually adhere to them when the prospect of money for their district comes into play. And that's talking into too much politics, but we all know, we all know how this happens. Okay, so we're doing well. I'd like to imagine these are little batteries or something. Yeah, so actually, Bane Blackguard, I'm going to show this one comment. Politics is about dumbasses convincing people that the other guy is a dumbass. Apparently clicking on show is not working, so... Oh, error, try again! Great. Okay, so that's us. Next page. This beer is great! Boy! I've been on a very long bike ride today as well. I wanted to build the Lego set right away, and then Amy was like, I really want to go riding bikes. And I'm like, okay, honey, we're going to go ride some bikes. And I was so glad I did, because I enjoy getting out. And, we're in a part of the world where there are a lot of bike trails, and there's just bikers everywhere. So the traffic is totally used to bikers that completely ignore the rules of the road. Therefore, they are not going to be surprised when you cruise through that stop sign. Not that I would do that, because that would be against the law. What am I drinking? Durkid. This is Town Beer by Ale Industries of Oakland, also known as Fruitvale Ale House. I was a big fan of their stuff, and I just don't get to go there anymore. I was so happy to find this in the store. It was originally called Beast Oakland, but for licensing reasons they had to stop that. Basically, the the Beast Oakland logo was sort of a collaboration with someone else, and the licensing got complicated, so they decided it was like a monster truck eating things. Have you ever noticed that East Bay is Pig Latin for beast? Yeah, there you go. And I lived in the East Bay for a while. Now I live in the North Bay. I live in Marin. You know, I call George Lucas my neighbor, sort of. I mean, like Skywalker Ranch is 5 miles in that direction. So, yeah, about 5 miles. Not that I see him in the local stores, but, you know, if I did, I would have to be very careful and restrained. Okay. Oh, now we're going to start building out the edges, right, for the truss structure. Thank you, Ender436. Any more news about San Pedro and SpaceX building production facilities? Do you know if you can hang the model? I do not know, but I will say that a lot of these models are designed. So we're building out the truss, the backbone. A lot of the models, come on, are, what do you say? They're designed to be supported from below, right? That's where the strong points are. And when the SF MoMA did their Far Out exhibit, which had a bunch of spacesuits and art and stuff from space, they had an ISS model and they hung it upside down. Like, oh, really? Because that was the way it was designed, right? So it was hanging above us, but it was upside down. I was like, oh, guys, you've got it upside down. You should fix it. I kept on dropping hints, and like, no, they wouldn't fix it. Okay, so we're going to build this out. There's a lot of these things. 12 of these. And 3 of these. Okay, this... I hope, you know, if anybody cool... Where in Scotland do I come from? I come from If I could get... Okay, I come from Ayrshire, and I went to the University of Glasgow, and I'm being asked which video game rights would I like, and I would say, if I had a budget and programmers and everything, I would remake X-Wing, right? The X-Wing simulator, I would bring it up to date. I would have it properly voiced, make all the controls look cool, like, because I think X-Wing and TIE Fighter are 2 of the greatest PC games ever. And this is, like, you gotta understand, XCOM is probably the greatest PC game from the 1990s, and it has been remade, so that's totally understandable. But EA are sort of sitting on the rights for Star Wars, and they're making Battlefront, which I have no interest in doing, you know, arena PvP. It's not interesting to me at all. Oh, I've got too many of these things. So yeah, they did Jedi Fallen Order, which, as I pointed out, was way more successful than they imagined, because they didn't imagine that people didn't want Battlefront 5, 6, 7, and so on and so forth. So hopefully we get some more single-player games, Star Wars games, because I think that would be marvelous. But yes, remake X-Wing, remake TIE Fighter. Perhaps, obviously, there would have to be some updates to bring it into line with the current lore and canon, but I don't think that would be hard. I think there's a lot of room for a lot of cool storytelling with spaceships, and we love spaceships, don't we? Dumb question. Okay, so... Okay, just checking. The truss in this model is pretty solid. Yeah, it is really strong. Let's just take a look. There's a lot of hooks and stuff in there. See that? Syndicate, that was a fine game. Yeah, I just remember the burning, you know, baby carriers. That was perhaps, you know, not the best thing to bring away from that game. But yeah. Okay, so now we've got to put these on here. So this strengthens the backbone. Yeah, Syndicate was a I remember they ported Syndicate to the Super Nintendo, and they had to replace the flamethrower with something, you know, more kid-friendly. I can't remember what it was, but I just remember that complaint. because at that time they had to do that for all the stuff that was ported to the Super Nintendo. Like the original Mortal Kombat on the Super Nintendo had sweat rather than blood being knocked off of people. So yeah. Apparently there's a whole lot of chat that I'm missing. Wow. Hello there. Okay. They replaced it with not a flamethrower. Exactly. It's a trick that Elon Musk found out. Has anybody actually played Elon Musk's video games? He worked when he came to the Bay Area originally. He worked on a couple of different video games. Like, he was one of these people that would work in every single job he could, and he worked multiple jobs because he's kind of like me in terms of doing lots of things. I always think it's funny when people are like, how do you find so much time to do all these things? And I'm like, well, I don't know, like, same way that Elon Musk found time to make a house record. Like, it's not hard, you just have to stop wasting your spare time. Like, oh, I'm going to get a Lego kit, I'm going to live stream it, because then it's technically content. It's a way to hang out with the fans and talk about all sorts of cool things. Here we go, so we're building these little end pieces here. Remake Castle Quest. Update Wing Commander 1 and 2 with Star Citizen graphics. I think, what about Wing Commander 3, huh? What do I think of Joe Barnard and model rockets in general? I'm going to say, I actually haven't done any model rocket stuff, and it's because I'm sort of afraid of the extra time that it would take. I really would love to spend time with model rockets. And I'm sort of going to volunteer as a scout, the scouts thing, as a mentor for space exploration. One of the options is actually building rockets. So if some scout wants to build rockets, I am so there to be with them and work on it, and but I sort of need somebody to push me and make it happen. And it's not. It is just down to a lack of time. Okay, so these both go on the bottom here by the looks of things, like that. Cool. So this truss is strong, I tell you. Can Scott ban? I think I can hide people and ban people. You did Boy Scouts. Do I have moderate? No, I am the moderator. And I don't. I mean, if I saw somebody really familiar, I would make them moderator. I do have a computer here, so that's it. I'm from Troon, technically Brassy, but I liked air. We actually had a burn supper here last week, which is kind of cool. So I'm gonna put 8 of these along. Here. I gotta put these on. Yeah, we couldn't get haggis, so we sort of got minced lamb, ground lamb, and spiced it up in the same way as haggis is spicy, and I did the address to the haggis and everything, so it was pretty cool. We had a great time. I do, I have the address to the haggis memorized, since, where does it go? It goes, for fire on a sonsy face, great chieftain of the pudden race, abon the maw you take the place, please try but firm. Will are you word that you a grace as langs me on? Like, I do that. I need a little bit of prompting now and then, but Robert Burns is the Scottish bard. He's a famous poet who has worldwide fame. And you may not think you know of Robert Burns, but you probably sung at one point or another Auld Lang Syne just after New Year's Eve. You probably wondered, what the heck is this all about? Well, he's Scottish and he liked his drink. Thank you. Will you make KSP2 videos whenever we start getting KSP2 videos? Sure. That was Scots, which is English with a lot of slang. It does include beam as far as I can tell. Okay. So we've got this again. We're going to turn it around and we need a pair of these. Wait a second. Yeah, this goes here. This one goes here. Do you think NASA will do anything with their plans for Artemis? I very much think that NASA will do stuff with their plans for Artemis. It's just really... Wait a second, that doesn't look right. Oh, yeah, no, that's correct. That's right. Yeah, I think Artemis is very much a part of NASA's plans. Right now, there is definitely a very interesting spending bill that has come in from the House that has been approved. It's obviously garbage. It's, all about politics. But then again, the 2024, deadline was all about politics too. So, what are we going to do? So I got to make sure this is in the right place. 1, 2, 3, 4. This goes here. 1, 2, 3. So we're now putting these pieces on here. Yeah, no, Artemis is definitely a thing, and I hope that Artemis is complete in one program or another. I mean, the good thing about politically driven time scales is that they were definitely... It was like the good thing about Artemis was that the time scale was very short. Like setting space projects with time scales of decades frequently leads to them not working. Okay. There we go. Have I been interested in the new Star Trek TV series? You know what? I went and watched the first episode of Picard, and I'm like, okay, I can watch more of Picard, definitely, because Picard is the original efficient hairstyle. Mad props. A big fan of Picard as a character. I thought Next Generation took a while to get going, but ultimately turned out to be a pretty good show. Having said that, I'm going to wait until all the episodes are up before I buy a subscription, and then I will probably catch up. Out of the three main companies, SpaceX, Blue Origin, Boeing, which do you think will end up with end up on top? That's a good question, because SpaceX, it's it's doing things in a different way. I think Blue Origin is a great place for a lot of good people are going to Blue Origin right now, simply because SpaceX works them too hard, and they're not interested in Boeing. So I think there's obviously great people that work at all these different companies. Let's make it clear: it's not like all the dumb people go to one company or another. There's brilliant people that go to all of these. So I think Boeing is just going to constantly keep getting government contracts just because that's what it's designed and what it's good at, right? And I don't think there's necessarily any shame in that. Okay, because SpaceX obviously got its whole start built around getting space, government contracts. Like, that's where it come from. Okay, so now we're putting... Oh, cool. We're putting the piping on this side. This is kind of cool, huh? I like this. This is looking really cool. What do I think of ITER, the international... I'm really hoping that in my lifetime we figure out fusion power, right? Fusion power is... Because that would solve so many of our environmental problems, right? That's, like, where we're at. So now we're on to bag 4. I do have a few pieces left, but I think we're doing okay. Just better check I didn't accidentally... Okay, no. So we got the truss. We got a big part of the truss here. Now, this is not... I'm going to make it clear, the way you built this Lego set is not consistent with the way the space station was launched. So we're creating a monolithic thing rather than assembling it bit by bit in space, which is kind of a shame. That would be very cool, but I can totally understand the Lego builders not designing it that way. Here we go. Should NASA set project deadlines not in years, but in presidential terms instead? Setting things based upon presidential schedules is very hard. Hey, Mindset, by the way, I just want to say thanks for that. He was the one that also asked about ITER. I think ITER's, if you're going to do, like, magnetic confinement fusion testing, they're going to be producing all the data, even if it's a commercial entity that ultimately uses their data to solve the problem. Oliver Braun, thank you very much for your donation. Very much appreciated. And I got to make sure I don't... This piece is running away here. Like, okay. Oh. Pause for a second. Beer moment. High elbow salute to everyone that's donated. Okay. So yeah, now we're going to build out this... we're actually starting to build bits of the space station here. So, I'm going to start with this, I think. Yeah, I guess this is this. And I'm not actually sure which part this is. Oh, we're starting to build the Destiny and the Unity modules at the front of the station. Okay, and yeah, I forget all their names now. Can you believe that I did like total research on all this? Yeah, we're going to be building the Columbus facility, the PMA. Node 3, the Japanese, the gem, right? Kibo. This is what we're all doing. So we're starting with these little bits. And there's going to be a lot of circular pieces here. Oh, look, you know what's really cool? You probably can't see this, right? But I'm going to put this all the way up. This, you might it's very hard to make out. There's a pattern on the top of that, which is a ring pull from a can. It's supposed to be a can of soda, but that's going to be the docking. That's going to be one of the airlock doors. When visiting Germany, take the IMF. Sam Storer salutes me. Thank you very much. I might actually have to get another drink, and the problem is they're not cold. And as a great man once said, a one which is not cold is scarcely a one at all. If you don't know where that comes from, you really need to do some internet history work. Okay, so this is going to be one of the PMA pressurized mating adapters. That's what the airlocks look like, right? Oh, the docking adapters. Coney, RP bank account, it's important. What's your opinion on climate change? Do you think to make Mars before... No, you don't go to Mars because you think Earth is going to collapse. You go to Mars because you want to go to Mars. If you can't fix the climate on Earth, you're not going to be able to survive on Mars, right? That's basic, physics. Like, I firmly believe that humans are resourceful creatures, and, there's a lot... What'll happen is you will have... there's all these coastal cities that are going to have to spend a lot of money fixing things, and, there's a reason why the coastal... you get the myth of the coastal elites. Let me tell you, it's because those are the cities that are the ones that are getting flooded, right? It's not because there's some different... It's because the money, right? We prefer not to have big chunks of our waterfront underwater, because that means we have to close things off. No, it's not a question of whether it's happening or who's causing it. It's a question of what's the best way to deal with it at this point. And I firmly believe that humans are extremely resourceful and capable and will do whatever is necessary as soon as people stop making stupid arguments that it's not happening. Okay. Oh, okay. So now we do one of these little things. So the joints between the modules are these tiny little pieces, and those get slid all the way up. Disappearing stars. I actually want to talk about the guys that went and did the analysis of the... I'm going to just move my leg because I need to straighten it. I feel like I'm in a Soyuz right now because my right leg has been bent. I moved this table into my office because I wanted to do this, and the kids are sort of wanting to play dance games and things like that. Yeah. Oh, look, this is the. I see. So yeah. What was I saying? I've forgotten what I was. Oh dear, we had a glitch. Are we back? Whoa. Oh man. I have no idea what's going on. We got it back. We got it back, and I got us some more. Karel Krauskov. Hello there. Really enjoy your content, and hello from Czechia. Since I bought a $30,000 coffin, do you know Vile Rat? Yes. SSB Farmer 8. I was on chat the night that on September 10th. You know, when Vile Rat was, yeah. When that happened, one of my first, I made a video, a tribute video, which you should look up on my channel. It's very, very moving. Look up Fly Safe Sean. You know, so I was never like, I didn't know him particularly well, but I definitely worked with him in a professional capacity in EVE Online. So, yes. Dude was a great team member. The RS-68 is, yes, RS-68 down here, most powerful liquid hydrogen engine in use today. Its best thrust to mass ratio, right? I'm sorry, I think Comcast is deliberately sabotaging this. I'm not sure what to say. Okay, so apparently we've built this much, and now we have to build the other side. So this is actually going to stick out the front of the space station. I think it's going to stick out like... you know what? I'm taking a guess. I bet you this sticks out like that. Right? I haven't seen that part, but I think this is what's going to happen. I'm going to take that off for now, but that's my prediction. We're going to build the next part. We're now going to build the Japanese module, the Japanese experimental module. So we do this. Oh, yeah, oh no, that's the wrong piece. Ah, darn, gotta get these apart. By the way, I don't know if you ever get, this is one of the best things ever that LEGO started including. The ability to pry parts apart. Elements. And just, by the way, we have a lot of people watching right now, and I should make one thing absolutely clear. No matter where you are in the world or your cultural background, the plural of Lego is Lego. There is no such thing as Legos. That is wrong. It's like portrait mode video. Except with IP law to back it up. So yeah, with that, yeah, I understand that you may have, you know, some sort of cultural attraction and baggage that makes you keep saying it, but you know, we'll disavow you of that problem eventually. Okay, here we go. Nice little modules. Lego elements, Lego bricks, Lego parts, Lego sets. That's how you pluralize it, right? See? Very simple. Okay. So now we've got this little module, and we're going to stick the Kibo airlock out the side. Pardon me. So do this, and now I'm looking for another ring pull top here. There we go. So the Japanese airlock, it sticks out the top, and they have a little robot arm that lets them take experiments and stick it out onto a pallet. Basically, they can expose stuff to space for, you know, extended periods of time. That's mostly what the Japanese module does. Hey, what happens if you stick this in a vacuum for a while? Cool, let's find out. So we're going to put this on, and then we put a little robot arm on here. So actually, I like this. These are kind of neat. It's a tiny, tiny robot arm. How much in pounds sterling is it being sold? This is, I think it's probably £70. I don't know, it's $70, and they typically just turn the dollar value into pounds, which used to be a terrible deal, but now the pound is so weak, it's actually a better deal than it used to be. I am looking for this. Goes on here. Oh, this is so tiny. I'm sort of glad that I managed to get my money out of Britain before, it got messed up. So there, look, we get a little bit. It's the robot arm to pull stuff out of the Japanese airlock. I'm worried that I've got different chats on both of these things. Started. I don't know. How do you like me at all? Are you like me? All thumbs. I am all like you. All thumbs. You think me? Scott plays Lego Island. I wish. What is Lego Island? I know. Here's the piece. So now we're gonna extend this out. So this is the pallet where the samples are placed. The beer is catching up. There we go. Yes. I've hardly had any beer. Trust me. I need a whole lot more beer before I start having problems. What is happening is that my throat is getting dry because I haven't had enough beer. How about that? And because I've had too much beer, my nose is getting sniffly because I'm still kind of sick. So I'm sort of in this place where I need more stuff to drink, but I can't drink beer. What would I possibly do? Like, I could be sensible, or I could just drink more beer. Like, there we go. Look, it's got the sample container and everything. I like that. Look, and if you see the top, I'm gonna try and get the angle on it. There we go. See that? It's got like stuff printed on the top of the airlock. So cool. Nice. Yeah, you should definitely take a look at my Twitter for my black hole ray tracing rendering. Okay, so we've got this module. This now needs to go on the end here. Oh, how does it go on the end? Uh-oh. 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 I made a mistake here. Okay, so I did this wrong. So I need to pop this off and rotate it. And then I need to pop these off and rotate them. Oh, I made a mistake. I like trains. That thumbnail is creepy as hell. How is it creepy as hell? I can't see it. Is it me being like super erotically interested in a Lego set? Is that what it is? Okay, so to connect this, I need one of these modules. There we go. And it pops into the side here. So it's interesting, there's nothing to stop these things from rotating. So now we have the front of the space station sort of starting to look like the front of the space station. Okay, so now I guess we're going to make the European module, the Columbus module maybe? I think this might be the Columbus module. Okay, so we're chilling out for a little while. So now I need some of these. We're building out the Columbus module. It's super, super simple. Oh, it's interesting. This one seems to be rotated. They're rotating the pieces by 45 degrees, which is not a construction technique which was originally allowed or authorized. I've seen sets get called out for that, but apparently they are doing it. So, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys. Bad boys. Wait, oh sorry, wrong idea. Not all of you actually know that around the world, huh? Okay, here we go. Bingo. And then, yeah, as I suspected, we put one of these in here. And this pops in on the other side, and that is the European thing. So now we have the front of the space station all organized. We need a Lego space shuttle. I have this Lego space shuttle, which is from a very cheap set. It's actually a 3-in-1 set. I've modified it so that it has a working robot arm. It also has an airlock for docking, and it has a satellite and stuff attached to it. So it's actually pretty good. Do all Scottish people take heroin? No, but I have known Scottish people that have taken heroin. one of the Scottish people that's taken heroin now is well on his way to a PhD in computer security. So it happens. Okay, so now this whole lot actually goes on the front, as I suspected. It goes on the front here. Beautiful. Look at the front of my space station. This is the front. Travels really fast. So Axiom, the private company that are going to be building 3 modules to attach to the space station, they're going to attach their modules off the front like this. So there's going to be one, and then there's going to be another, and there's going to be another one sticking up, and there's going to be an observation area down. But I don't have the stuff to do that. So just thought you might want to know where that is. I might see if I can get parts to make this happen. Can you use Buckfast as a hypergolic? No! But actually I realised it might be a fun video to do to just say rocket fuels around the house. What do you have around the house that's been used as a rocket fuel? Because you would be surprised by how many things in everyday life can be turned into rocket fuels. So I'm going to do this and this. And this locks onto the back to hold it in place. See that? Beautiful. Uh-oh. I was going to say it's beautiful, but it fell off because I'm all thumbs. Let's do this again. It's beautiful. Let's not break it this time, you moron. Oh. No, this is not the beer talking. This is me being really bad. Oh, finally. Ah, yes, that feels good. Clutch power. Hydrogen peroxide has been used as an oxidizer. Ammonia has been used as a fuel. Obviously alcohol. Gas. Various forms of gas. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of options. Sorry, I'm really sniffly. So you're going to see me swiping my nose and I'm trying to stop myself from sniffling. And I'm going to sniffle too much and I'm going to feel really bad. As I said, I wrote a really cool video, but I was not really up for recording it for the last few days, and then this happened, and so now you're getting a live build of me talking about Lego, and I'm happy to ask any question, answer any questions that you might have, and I love being asked good questions, because the best videos I have are the ones where people ask me a question, I'm like, that is a brilliant question! I must now answer this. It's rather stunning how often good questions just get me interested in things, in minutiae which are normally overlooked, but some person just couldn't take because for an answer. You're getting offended by your own poor reading and comprehension skills. Productivity is slowing with more beer intake. I've barely done anything. I'm just sniffling. Okay, there we go. So I think this is actually part of the thing. William Gabel, great channel, boss. Well, thank you very much. Emergency escape module launch motor, 12 AK-47s in a... Listen, Sable Eagle, if you play Kerbal Space Program and you use the weapons mod, people actually build aircraft that use weapons recoil as thrusters just because you can. It's really fun. This is an airlock, I think. So we're building like a really cool module here. I love the detail in this set. Has beer ever been drunk on the ISS? I'll tell you what, I have it on authority by people that have been there several times that they've tried to make beer by like fermenting, trying to get yeast from the bread, and they found out that it didn't work. However, right now there is an experiment by Budweiser to make beer, and while obviously I have low respect for Budweiser, I'm very happy that somebody is solving these important problems, because I believe that social things need to continue. Okay, so this goes on here. Wait, we need... There it is there. Pop on the top. Hop on the top. Ah, come on, get in there, yeah. This one is very hard. Yeah. Because science is kind of funny. Like, it's interesting how, uh, how often because science does a video, and I'm like, well, yeah, I guess I should have made my videos sooner. Like, it's great. Kyle does a great job of a lot of things. So I think this goes like that. Okay, so we're joining the back on here. And William Gubbles, they should cover the Vela incident. I will say that. So they have drank. I know they drank alcohol in space, and on Apollo 9. No wait, Apollo 8. They had brandy for flying around the moon because it was Christmas. And the commander of the mission said, "You will not use this because if anything goes wrong in this mission, then no one will ever be able to have alcohol in space again." And the problem was, nothing went wrong, and they never got to have alcohol in space again. So this is one of the satellite receivers. Okay, so we need to build another one. So we're building these little robotic arms. These are kind of cool. One of these. Was Sydney? There were. I don't know. I imagine that Sydney Airport would be a perfectly good shuttle landing. It wasn't used, but it was. I believe that might have been one of the airports. I know Prestwick Airport was an option at one point because Prestwick Airport has an extraordinarily long runway for what it is. So there were a lot of emergency shuttle landing sites around the world, depending upon the mission. They would mostly only have teams on site if it was a potential abort location, and that would typically mean during the launch. So you would have places in Europe where they would be manned, or they would have personnel out there just in case that was one of the aborts was called. But there were other places where they didn't have staff on site, but if there was a problem, they could be used at short notice to land the space shuttle. And I don't have the full list, but I will tell you, did you know that even long before Gorbachev, long before any official collaboration, but long before Mir, the Russians actually the Soviets had plans to land Soyuz in North America. Texas, North Dakota, and then of course, obviously into Canada. Yeah, they understood that in an emergency situation, they might have to land, and the only place available to them would be places that had big flat plains, like Kansas. So before going to sleep, or before they moved out of range of the Russian base stations, they would transmit up landing instructions for all of these locations every day, and then they would spend several hours out of communication, and yeah, so yeah, that would have been an interesting scenario to happen. Let's say. Now I'm not sure which way to do this. I'm going to do it that way. You're building the Model A380. That sounds fun. What got me interested in rockets? My dad. I saw Star Wars and was interested in rockets, but my dad was also interested in space stuff and had some great books on the subject. So I was never not interested. For as long as I for as long as I remember, I've been interested in space. But I will point out that playing Kerbal Space Program and knowing orbital mechanics was kind of why I began to learn rockets, because I started to talk about it and people would tell me, "Oh, no, wait, you've made a mistake." And I was like, "No, oh no, I can't possibly make a mistake. Oh, sorry about that, let me fix it. Look, we have beam. We have the Bigelow expandable module, right? Activity module. It sticks outside. There's the cupola there, right? So you can imagine which part of the station we're at now, right? This is pretty cool. I think this comes off the side here. So that's B. Oh, wait, I've missed a bit here. I'm supposed to put... I gotta put a little rod up its butt. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. So I was wanting to make a video. The funny thing is, the reason we know... Oh, wait, this is suddenly now on stand. I should probably put it on its stand then, right? So this goes like that. So I'm confused because it hasn't shown me at any point how to put this on the stand. So I'm going to imagine that I just sit this here. Oh, look at that. It sort of just sits. Nice. We have a space station here. Farming. Look at that. It's beautiful. Beautiful. I know everybody misspells Boeing as Boing. And it's not intentional, but it's kind of funny. I remember when this was on every single spaceship kit, and it was supposed to be space lasers. Now they're so tame compared to the items that are actually available in the sets. Now it's actually being used as a way to hook up the solar panels. Oh dear, sorry. Itchy nose here. My nose is really itchy. Oh dear. Airbus, yes, Airbus seems to be fine. I've flown Airbus many times. So we're going to put solar panels on the side. Look at that, beautiful. See that? Space lasers now work for peace. It actually snaps into the stand, does it? Where does it snap? Must be backwards. That can't be right. No, this is the correct. Wait a second. It's supposed to snap into. You know what? Maybe I've got this backwards. You know what it is? I'm gonna fix this. They didn't use Australia. There was many. So Australia was an option. If you remember my recent video, I talked about how they looked at using Australia as a landing site when they considered the Soyuz, considered using the Soyuz as an escape module. And that was back when it was Space Station Freedom. And Space Station Freedom would launch at 28.5 degrees inclination, right? So that meant that the only reasonable place they could land the Soyuz would be in Australia. But of course, what happened then was Space Station Freedom became Space Station Alpha, which became the ISS, and yeah, the inclination changed, and so therefore the landing sites are now Kazakhstan, and there are actually officially landing sites in the North America, and there's a whole set of plans to allow them to do this. So yeah, there's like media communication plans and everything. Eagle Kipper asked about his talking about the shuttle kit. Yeah, this is the shuttle. I think I might work on it a little more. I think what it needs to be is the body needs to be like 3 bricks wide. But now that I've got something that's pretty close, I think I can get much closer. And just so you know, like this, it looks a bit fat, but in terms of size, it's much more consistent with the size of the space shuttle and the space station. So you see this? Right? It's just a bit fat. Well, now I should open this up. I'm going to lose this part. But in theory, that would dock on there. And that's roughly the right size, actually, in terms of length. It could be a little shorter, and definitely the body is too fat. But it's closer, much closer in scale to this. Like, that is way too small. That's like Dream Chaser, not even Dream Chaser. What do we have? We have the ATV, which can dock on the back, I guess. We have the Soyuz, which are the Progress. It's all pretty good, but I'm going to put this here. This is an extra kit that I've modified so far. X38 would be about that size, yes. Okay, where were we? Yeah, we made this thing. I've no idea what... I've got super distracted now. Okay, so we've got... This goes onto here. And then this goes in here. And now it needs... What is that? Oh, this flips around. Here we go. This goes in this way. Oh, that's interesting. This thing goes in and there's no like way to stop it spinning. It's just you take that orientation and it lives with it. Okay, well, we'll do that then. And this goes on the bottom here, underneath this. So we hang that off the butt. I'm guessing that's supposed to be another shuttle. Let's just take this off temporarily. So this hangs off the bottom. There we go. Right, okay. Coronavirus. No, I'm not drinking Corona. I should point out that as an expert on beer, right, you cannot get the coronavirus from Corona. You can get drunk and, you know, regret it, but no, don't worry. Corona is not the best beer, but it won't give you coronavirus. Oh, I'm sticking this giant rod up its jacksie, up its butt. Any plans to make videos about Starbase when it comes out? I don't know, actually. I've not had great response from my video game videos recently. Like, it definitely seems that people really love the real science. And I love the real science as well. I love it when I can play a video game that actually has some science in it, to be clear. Okay. Grab another drink and chug at least half of me. Okay, high elbow salute for the 1 million. But I'm going to have to grab another beer from there. Corona beer slightly less terrible than coronavirus, yes. I'm not an expert in beer by any means, but I know that much. Okay, so this is an interesting one. It has a little pokey bit goes in there, and then we put a rod in here. I think this is building the Pierce airlock. Oh no, this is building the Soyuz that's docked to the station. Okay, so it does that, and then we deploy this on here, and this little white bit. Yeah, this is a Soyuz, or a Progress docked to the station. I think that's the difference. At this scale, I kind of wish they'd made it bigger scale, but I totally understand why they don't want to make it bigger scale. Okay, so this needs to go in that away. Uh-oh. There we go, look at that. And then what we do is we extend these out the side. So this is going to be this is Progress dock to the space station, which is kind of cool. I can tell it's Progress because the orbit module is much more cylindrical than it is rectangular. Can't you tell that that's a Progress? Thank you for everyone. Thank you, Mika K. Thank you, Wayne Harrison. I have to go and cut the grass. I guess you're in Australia or Hawaii because it's dark where I am. Okay, so this now has to go, and I have to rotate this 90 degrees. I think I'll rotate it this way, actually. There we go. Another thing docked to the space station very gently. Bingo. Nice. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a second. And, you know, these beverages are not cold, but they are here within arm's reach. Ugh. Ugh. Here we go. So I'm going to have another one. I really shouldn't. But, because, you know, I need reserves for the helmet bowl tomorrow. It's superb owl thing, right? You have a lot of missing parts? Oh, man. Yeah, I've mostly been lucky. There was one piece missing earlier, but I had a duplicate of another part, so it all sort of worked out in the end. Okay, where are we? So we built this, we put this on here. Oh, now we got to start building the rest of the station. So this is the Unity node here, actually, I believe. Ah, I knew that was going to happen. This one seems pretty fragile, I'm going to say. I think that one there is actually supposed to be the... which one? I think that's supposed to be the ATV, right? I'm just going to say, I'd be nice to fly this to the space station so that it actually took the correct order, it would fly correctly. We haven't got to the Canadarm. We do have a robot arm in this model, so don't worry. I build the model very manually. It's a good thing that I actually... everything I do is sort of manly by default, therefore I don't have to worry about being super masculine about anything. That's why I have no problem wearing a kilt. That's like a real man thing. Okay. Like, Orion hasn't had a kilt, but Sky has. Yeah, he would probably have trouble with it. If nothing with mass can travel the speed of light, and light can travel... how wise does it take time for light to escape from the sun? Because the light is being it's emitted and then it gets reabsorbed by something else. So the heat, like, you got a photon and it goes out, it's like, I'm free, and then it hits another atom or molecule or whatever, and that molecule is suddenly, I'm super excited, I've got to emit a photon, and it re-emits the photon. So the photons don't get very far before they get emitted and re-excited. That's why it takes about 100,000 years for energy generated in the core of the sun to reach the surface and escape into freedom. Does that make sense? What is RU? Awesome t-shirt, auto montage. Congratulations, 50k. Thank you very much for that. That was Atom montage. That's great. Aaron, thank you for your donation. Darren, Orange, and Wayne Harrison once again. Use science for your beer. A bowl of ice and salt. Put your beer in there. Chill it quickly. Yes, but I would have to go to the kitchen and leave you guys behind. I'm just chill. It's okay. I have no idea, but I think that it doesn't matter. You don't, you know, certainly it makes it easier for me to notice, but I'm happy with anybody that is feeling the need. I sort of love it, and obviously your donations have helped. They've given me a reason to buy this set, to be honest. Like, it's very, very cool. And I'll be clear, I did this, I would normally do this on Twitch, but I think I decided to try YouTube, and I haven't done a stream on YouTube in a very long time. Things didn't go quite so well the last time. You just have to see how messy my previous streams were. I did a live stream of a video game one weekend, and the stream key got exposed, and I got hacked, and that was pretty hilarious, to be honest, because I was like, well, I'm a goon, I totally understand how that would happen. So... wait, you're putting another one in here? Okay, I guess we're putting another thing in here. Hello from the Great White North. Is it still great and white up there? Thank you, Tiberion. It makes me think of Tiburon, which is a place very close to me. Okay, so now I need to make one of these. We're getting very close to the end of this bag. We only have 2 more bags to go after this, and then I will be out. It looks like an Ariane. This is a Delta 4 Heavy. The Canadarm is great. It is marvelous. It's a great. It's amazing how far robot arms have come in the time they have been manipulated and learned. Manipulator arms in space are real science to them. Like, you might think they're easy, but it's not just having the mechanics, it's understanding the ergonomics of how people are going to use these and be able to understand the user interface and so on and so forth. I think the Canadarm and the Gateway will be a whole lot simpler. Okay, so this one goes like this. Look at that. This is really hanging out there. Do you miss Scotland? Do I prefer them? I both. I love the Americas. I love the fact that people are so cool out here. And here's the thing. California is very Scottish. Like, you may not think it, but there's a lot in Scotland that is in common with California. I mean, that may sound strange, but, like, we're very... we think the same way, let's say. LA Scots, for start. Yes, that's one thing, maybe. Okay, so now... another one of these. This is another little Soyuz. We've got a lot of Soyuz on here. Okay, and more solar panels. I tell you what, I'm so glad they didn't cheap out and decide to give us stickers for all these, because that would be the most hateful thing Lego could do. Okay, so now, very carefully, there we go. And we have a Soyuz docked onto the back. Brilliant! Bag 5! Wow. Wait, did I miss something? I see a lot of these. There's a lot of these pieces that never got used. I'm worried that I've missed a whole page. Let's just check. I mean, I guess I'll see it, but it seems that there's a bunch of pieces here that should have been used, but they haven't. Thanks for the passionate videos. Terrence Buttcipher, is that your real name? Because that's kind of cool. I'm trying to think how I could encipher something with my butt. Like, I mean, seriously, that's a cool concept. Okay, I don't want to like diss your name or anything. I'm really curious. Like, I hear things. My brain starts working. That's right. Yes. I'm not sure you can, given that voice prints don't work particularly well. I don't think. Open all the bags turns Lego into a puzzle game as well. Yes. I think we're doing pretty well. Okay, so we're going to do the radiators next. That is a nice Delta Heavy. That is thanks to Tori Bruno, who is a fine gentleman with an efficient hairstyle. Okay, so we're going to start building out these pieces here. This is supposed to look like the radiators. The real radiators, obviously, are much more like corrugated, surfaces. But for ease of construction, they're building it like this. There we go. So you can see it from that angle, how they're building these out. Yeah. Wow. Just don't get me. Wow. No, we're not thinking about that kind of encryption. No. Okay, here we go. I mean, there's all sorts of interesting ways to solve problems, and sometimes you see something and you start to think, and my brain does go all sorts of places and starts to think of all sorts of things. It can be problematic. Here we go. So I got to do 2 of these sets of radar. So that's 1. Once again. How long have I lived and worked in the US? About 20 years now. Technically, I came first in 1999 as a contractor, and then I came here on a proper visa in 2000. But the visa thing was incredibly hard to turn the visa into a green card. Like, you know, people that think it's hard, it's too easy to immigrate to the US have no idea. It is the most convoluted and difficult system. It makes it very hard for someone that doesn't have family connections. And that was my problem. And so eventually I ended up getting married, and I was fortunate, like, because without that I would have probably had to go home. But that wasn't the reason I got married. Like, if I hadn't got married, I would have been in serious trouble. But I got married because I love Amy and she's so amazing. She does so many wonderful things for me. And I cannot find this next piece. Oh, here we go. Missing parts in your space station. Yes, that's right. We're hopefully don't have any missing parts. Okay, we got our 2 radiator panels sorted. So these go on here. These are the... there we go. Oh, wait, did I miss a piece? I did. I missed these pieces here. That's much more like it. Oh yeah, look at the beautiful thermal radiators here. Crack the crack. Yes. How do they work? They emit thermal radiation. You have a heat exchanger, and you have a heat pump which refrigerates coolant. The hot cycle is here, and that emits this thermal radiation, therefore cools the whole system. Right, so there we go. Now, what's next? It tells me 2 parts, but I can't for the life of me see where they actually go. Oh, I see one of them goes here. One goes here. Okay, so this is a tiny piece. There we go. So small. And the other piece goes on the end here. Okay, on the end. Pardon me. Kong Lee, your answer was better. Wait a second. Just going to make sure I've not missed anyone. Rare Avenged Sevenfold. Oh yes, that's right. And Demon OJC, love from Iceland. I am coming to Iceland at the start of April for Eve FanFest. So I am super excited. Eve Online is a game that I don't recommend anyone play, but boy, when it's good, it is unparalleled. When it's bad, it's bad. And when it's tragic, it's like, you know, it almost makes you feel suicidal. Yeah, like that's just the nature of things. Okay, where does this go? Oh, okay, on here. So I'm guessing this is supposed to be some sort of... This is all the greebles being added. It's all about the greebles. Yeah, I mean, it's very... You started Eve, don't have so much time, so I'm a casual, yes. You don't want to spend too much time in Eve Online. It will steal your life away. Like, I literally logged in, and I'm starting to look at my things you haven't done in Eve list. And I'm like, oh my god, I haven't done that? But surely I've won Eve, and yet I haven't done all these missions. I haven't ever, you know... Well, I haven't done with any of the new Abyssal Dead Space content, which is kind of cool. Okay, so now I need one of these, one of these. So we're sticking this on the end here. And I need... Oh, that's interesting. These pieces go like this. and like this. And you guys can't see this at all, but these are tiny, tiny little claspy hand things. The grabbing hands, they grab all they can. Everything counts in large amounts. Depeche Mode. Fantastic band. Yeah, I mean, seriously, like, if you haven't listened to Depeche Mode a million times, then you are seriously missing a huge cultural influence there. And Just Can't Get Enough is obviously an iconic tune. Everything counts in large amounts. So when I went to, oh, that's interesting. When I went to Mexico to go with the launch of the DLC, the Making History DLC, they put me in a hotel, and the hotel was where Depeche Mode were staying for their, because they were doing like 4 shows in Mexico City, and let me tell you, I just kept on finding reasons to hang out in the lobby or whatever, hoping that I would see them. I never saw them. There was all these people outside being kept outside by security staff. Depeche Mode, like, obviously, I think that I'm a huge fan of Vince Clarke, but I totally understand that Depeche Mode became something very different and cool without him. But he equally was very critical to making Depeche Mode, kind of what they were, but indirectly. Okay, yeah, Depeche Mode means fast style for those of you that don't speak French. Don't ask me why. I mean, I think they probably saw it in a magazine and were like, that's a cool name, let's use it. What does it mean? I have no idea. Okay, so now this goes on here. What is this boomer talking about? Depeche Mode, they were definitely not a boomer band. Oh, this feels good. Yeah, I know, it's such a shame. We had all this concern about IRAS being destroyed, and then Spitzer's gone offline permanently. It's so sad. Oh, the Colombian. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that I've chosen to never actually talk about any of the real space disasters where people have been killed. I don't know, like, it seems there have been so many bad videos made about all of these people getting killed that it's so hard for me to do a video and then. Okay, hold on. I guess I'm trying to figure out where this thing goes. We get another, like, weird, tiny piece. I'm not even sure what this is supposed to be, because my space station map is not that good. Oh, wait a second. It's there. Oh! Wait a second, am I missing some pieces? I'm missing some pieces here! Okay. I think there's supposed to be a whole bunch of things here. Oh, did I drop them? Now I gotta flip back, but I see there's some bits. And those are supposed to be there, so let me rewind further. See? Like, you miss things, and next thing you know, you're struggling. Now I've just got Depeche Mode running through my head. Okay, so actually, yes, you see, I did miss pieces. And that. Look at this space station. Isn't it glorious? Can you imagine that this thing has been in space for 20 years? Not obviously this thing, but something that's like this. Been in space for 20 years. Been built up over time. And yeah, actually now I gotta put this on here. So this goes like that. He dropped a piece. Do you think I dropped a piece? It's a carpet. I'm sure I'm fine. There we go. Sorry, my nose is just a little bit sniffly. It's really a problem. So, okay, Rishi Joshi is just like asking people to sub, so time out on Rishi Joshi. Okay, next page. It's so, like, it's terrible. And, like, spamming chat really doesn't get you anywhere. I mean, if somebody really wants you to subscribe to them, the best way is for them to come in and actually do, like, relevant content. And look, let me be clear, in the early days when I was looking for subscribers, I would look around for people playing Kerbal Space Program badly and say, hey, I happen to have a video that solves your particular problem. Look, here's me explaining it. And, you know, that wasn't disrespectful. I was just kind of dropping the knowledge. That's not it. This one. It's this. This, and a little antenna dish. So I will totally admit that in the early days I was very much throwing, like, just Googling anyone playing Kerbal Space Program and trying to insinuate my reply to help them. And now I don't have the time for that. But I do still watch YouTube. You know, there's a lot of people that don't. Oh, wait a second. How does this go? This goes. Oh, this goes actually under here. That's really interesting. So this actually fits underneath here, in the middle. I'm guessing this is for, like, communicating with things. And it points out like that. Now I'm going to bring this up so you can see how the bottom of the space station is going. You see that? It's a really quite a wonderful build. I'm loving it. You're watching from Holland. I wish I was hoping that I would be able to come out to Holland. I had a chance, but my I had a problem that basically made it wasn't going to happen. So I could turn this thing around now because it's changed the angle on me. I do love the Lego manuals. Like, they developed this great Lego CAD thing. Okay, so that's that. I might have got this thing backwards. I got this backwards. Stand is backwards because I'm dumb, or just not. I'm not a very good Lego builder, but that's fine. We'll solve these problems. We will solve these problems. There are bigger problems in the world. At least the real space station is correct, because you know you wouldn't want it going the wrong way. So we have this hanging off the bottom. I am also smelling food in the next room. At some point, I'm hoping that I will finish this, and I will have some food. Maybe play some dance games, because, you know, who doesn't love dance games? Oh, actually, most people. It's okay to like dance games. We're about to start a very important part of the model. So I'm going to attach this on here. This is attached on the bottom here. And now, it's the part that so many people out there have been waiting for. We're about to build the Canadarm. That's right. The robot arm. Oh yes. The singular most important contribution to space station from Canada. So here we look at the bits, look at the tiny bits. The Canadarm, the Canadarm, the Candararm, the Candararm. There's lots of little pieces here. I love the way the Canadarm can kind of just crawl around the surface of the station. People don't really get this necessarily, that, like, it can unhook itself, it can attach itself to a new latching point and then flip itself around. It's, like, really cool. It kind of moves around like a thing. There's a piece stuck by my elbow. I don't see it. I think I got it. Whatever. If I will work it. There was a piece stuck to my elbow. I just don't see it. Like, if I find a piece, I will do it, right? It's a two-sided inchworm of grappling. This is exactly what it is. So now, this is going to latch on. Let's do it. So, what do we do? The Canadian national anthem? What is... Oh, Canadarm, you're gonna stick... Oh, wait, I missed a bit in here. I see a bit that we missed. Oh, do you see? I gotta pay attention. Oh, Canadarm. There you go. So I gotta now put these bits on here that I missed. Oh, that's what these pieces are for. Okay, now I see these. These go in here. So hard. Apparently, Ukulele Kid says he needs more subscribers. Actually, I'm saying he. It could be a she, but then again, I would imagine that she's might be more polite. I'm not going to kick them off for saying that because you know what? I like ukuleles and kids. I mean, I like my kids. Like, I don't know. I should have done this before I... What do I think of the new Space Force crest? I mean, like, the options were limited, right? Okay, Ukulele Kid is now repeating that statement. You've now officially... I even gave you a shout out on the channel, but if you say that one more time, I am gonna, like, put you on timeout, right? Because that's not cool to keep repeating that. What astrophotography camera do you use, and why don't you take an with my 8-inch when it passes in the sky? I don't actually have an 8-inch telescope, that is. But I use a Nikon D5300, which I use with a T adapter and put it on the prime focus of my thing. How much was this model? This was $70, and it is a bargain at that price. I highly recommend it. It seems to be a great build, and the book's great. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. So we're now starting to build the solar panels, right? So these are the bits that go off the end. Cool. Was that review of the 50? Oh, you know what? So I did have a 12-inch Dobsonian, but I would never do astrophotography with a Dobsonian telescope because you can't really point it correctly. But beyond that, I actually ended up giving it away to another person who would have a great deal of use for it. You know, I just was having a hard time moving everything into my new place. And I decided that I didn't use the 12-inch often enough to justify having it around. So I gave that away, but I do astrophotography using... The important thing about astrophotography is you have to have a mount that is able to track the sky. And that means an equatorial mount that has a very simple equatorial drive. It doesn't need to be a complicated mount, but it needs to have an equatorial axis. And it also needs to be quite heavy so that it doesn't rock and roll and whatever. But yeah, that's what I use. And I use the Nikon D5300, which is a fine... I think it was just the one that was available at the time that was a good deal. I've also taken to putting my Nikon P1000 on the mount on its own, but I've had problems with tracking and I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Here we go, look, we're starting to get the... These are going to be the segments which are going to have the mount on it for the solar panels, that's right. Because everybody sees those solar panels. So now we're about to add these things on here. Great. So look, this goes on over the top. So we're going to brace these. Brace yourself. And we need a couple of these little ones. Sometimes I wonder why they use like two of a single piece when there might be another piece that works. But I think, you know, they have to work on what's busy. Scott, make ass. No, we're not going to make the American space station. We're making the International Space Station. Okay, so now, turn... Oh wait, I'm trying to make all this. This is the way it's supposed to go. Oh, I see. So we do these pieces. And then you put a flat one on the outside. And another one on here. And then this. Axiom Space Station. I know, I've talked about how the Axiom Space Station... Oh, okay, now I've done it. I've really dropped a piece under the sofa. So the Axiom Space Station will go on the front here, right? There'll be two modules sticking out, so it'll come out about that far. It'll have a module underneath where you can view the Earth. It's kind of cool, and kind of interesting, and I will probably build it in Kerbal Space Program. The Axiom Space Station, yes. So where are we? We did that, and I need to put some more flat pieces on. And then, here we go. What am I drinking tonight? I'm drinking town beer. The town in question is, of course, Oaktown, or Oakland. That's right, a place which I spent a great deal of time, and although I don't live there anymore, I still have a great deal of love for Oakland. Okay, sorry, I'm really sniffling. Oh, man. Did this one tell me? Okay. Oh, I see where this goes. So we're building like a little extra bit on here. Good thing I went and paid attention to that. This is where the solar panels are going to be. Oh. Oh, I see how this works. This is going to do that. And then from here, I'm going to pop this across. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Meet you on the other side. So I need a pair of these, one of these. What do you think of plane wave telescopes? Looking at getting a 17-inch, I have no idea about a lot of these fancy telescopes, largely because I have limited resources and don't buy and review telescopes. I'm not a great telescope user, to be honest. I don't have a super dark sight or anything. I just know that I like to occasionally point my eyes, you know, through a telescope and examine the universe. Okay, so this goes on here. So now we've got a fairly substantial, this is what the solar panels are going to be mounted on. And I need to make two of these things. But, so I'm going to just show you that this one mounts on the end here. And hopefully, yes, there is actually an interface on it. So this is where it's going to go. And this, the great thing about this is it rotates so the solar panels can track the sunlight. Do you recommend it? I highly recommend. I think making the move from the UK to the US is great right now. Having said that, I moved to California. California is very different. It's very expensive. But if you've got the skills and the talents to get yourself a good job in California, then definitely it's worthwhile. You know, right now, Britain seems to be doing a fine job of retreating from the world as opposed to expanding itself. So, you know, the US is kind of doing that too, but the US does have a whole lot of states there. As I said, the problem is it's very hard to do if you're trying to get out here purely on your skills. If you don't have family members out here, they make it very, very hard to get out and live here. You know, it doesn't matter how qualified you are. You either have to know somebody, have special skills or whatever, you know. If you can bribe the right people, it's a little easier. But having said that, the other thing is you have to make sure you're pretty much always in a job because of the way healthcare works in this country. Okay. Okay, we're doing this very, very, very quickly. Cheers for the event. Yeah, I'm serious. Like, I love the US, and there's a lot of things going for it. And you shouldn't judge the US based on one particular corner because it's a very large country. There's a lot of different places with a lot of different things. Like, you might hear stories about one particular corner of the country being incredibly intolerant of some things, and you know that isn't the whole of the US. And you might hear that other places are just like plagued by government regulations, and that's not the whole country either. And I have this piece here. I was about to say I've lost this piece. Maybe that's the one that fell, but nope, that's doing fine. Yeah, Florida is kind of weird like that. Like, the Florida man meme is a real thing. And, you know, Alabama equally so as well. Like this. Okay. Ow, I just pinched myself. And I don't mean in the kind of way where I'm worried about dreaming. No, I pinched myself in a kind of sore way that hurt me. But that's okay, because I'm fine. Did I... Oh no, I did. I was about to say, did I forget to do something? But no, apparently I did it. I did it fine. Okay, we've done this. In here. And then two of these pieces. Bingo. Bingo! Yeah, the California's... And it has, like, here's the thing. I was coming to the US and people were like, oh my god, you can't handle the heat. Why are you living in California? It's like LA. You're going to be, like, killed by the continual heat of all that sun. And the truth is, San Francisco is bloody cold a lot of the time. So here we go, these things rotate, and now it's telling me that I need to put these pieces on here. I would have loved to know that I needed to put these pieces on here before I attached them, but that's okay. I have no idea what they are, but I'm very happy that they've got these completely interesting... oh boy! There's somebody clueless talking in chat right now. Oh, you could totally handle LA, don't worry. Okay, so now we have all these little claws which are going to stick on the bottom, and these are going to be for the radiators, which of course sit at 90 degrees. San Francisco, because of the bay, it gets very, very cold. It brings the fog in all the time. And there's a famous quote which is often attributed to Mark Twain, but no one can find any record of him actually saying it. Nevertheless, the quote is, the coldest winter he ever spent was a summer in San Francisco. As I said, there's no evidence that he actually said that, but nevertheless, you know, it's sort of true. Okay, now I'm in trouble here, because this thing is not locked in. Yeah, the build is moving along nicely. We're almost there, 7 o'clock. I don't think we have much time left in this. Probably what's going to happen is it's going to fall off the stand and then break something, and then I'll be like, no! No! Oh, guys, this is falling off the stand. Okay. Please adopt me. I'm sorry, I'm not... There we go. Let's get everything back on the stand. I'm very worried because it's not attaching correctly. And it might be because I went and messed up. You know what? I need to fix this. The stand is failing me and the station is becoming too fragile. Look at this thing. It's really quite marvelous. I'm totally excited by this. But let's just put this on here. Let's finish with the radiator panels first. Uh-oh, wait. Did I? Oh, there it is there. So I made a dumb mistake. I put this on backwards, so I need to pop these things out. Ugh. Don't Skylab that space station. What, you mean insist that you'll have a space shuttle ready to save it before it's done? There, this is it. Now I've fixed it. Because this extends a little further back, that's really what I'm seeing here. So it's designed to hold a little more weight in one axis than the other. So, you wish I ever knew anyone in space. And you know what? People that are into space stuff find each other. Why don't they have a Skylab style space in the ISS? Because Skylab was launched on top of a Saturn V, therefore the diameter that they were able to put into space was a whole lot larger than what they can do these days. And in fact, the space shuttle was the sort of limit that defined the size of everything. Okay. There we go. Good, okay, we got this. Let's put this back in here, and then we'll finish with these pieces. So these are radiator panels that... it's very important to get thermal control under control, right? If I make the move out to the US, you best be there to scrunch more adiv off of. What? Adiv? What's adiv? A dive? What are you talking about? Really confused. There we go. And I think at this point, we're on to the final bag. That's right. Of course, I'll probably find out that I need to use one of these pieces on something. I should just flick back through and make sure. Because I seem to have a lot of these little things, these little white ones. I get 2 of them. I probably missed something somewhere. Just going to take a quick check, make sure I didn't miss any pieces. Nah, you know, it was all these little bits and bobs here, the instruments, right, that were hanging off the bottom. And I got all of them, so sure, we're fine. Now onto the solar panels. Oh yes. So we're 1 hour 49. So I guess we're going to do this in about 3 hours. And it's been 3 hours of relative entertainment, right? Look at all these little spaceships here. You guys probably haven't seen them so far. We have other spaceships that go in. We have another little spaceship that goes in. I like having these things sticking out. And we have space shuttle. Look at the space shuttle. Look at it. It's so tiny. But I'm going to point out, this is the correct size of space shuttle here. The only thing is this space shuttle doesn't come with it. But it's roughly the right size, albeit the cargo bay and stuff is a bit fatter than it should be. So this is more realistic. If we look at the ISS, this is what the space shuttle would look like docked to it. Space shuttle docked to the ISS was the biggest structure ever in space. It does have a Soyuz. It has, actually, if you look around here, it has multiple Soyuz docked to the back of it. There's one at the back, and then there's a couple of Progress shuttles underneath. I have no idea how many pieces will be left over. Anyway, let's open this, and we're on to the final bag of the day. I don't think that SpaceX is considered that. Do any of the Lego shuttles have damaged tiles? No, but I'll tell you what, if you tried to deorbit any Lego shuttle, you wouldn't get very far. I need a passion and a hobby man. Wait, you mean a man that has passion and hobbies? Because that would be really weird. 80, I think this is the closest they have to an ATV here. See that? On the other hand, they actually have something that's docked to the bottom of the station that could be the ATV. It's kind of hard to tell. But see that spacecraft that's docked to the bottom? That could also be an ATV. It's kind of hard to tell because the dimensions are sort of limited by the resolution of Lego. Like, they didn't want to make the kit too big. If they'd made the kit twice as big, like, it would have cost 8 times as much. But they would have been able to put a lot more detail into the kit. So I would have loved something like that. Canadarm, what do you think this is? Oh, Canadarm, grabber of the station. Something, yeah. Yeah, what was I doing? Wow, look at all these printed pieces. I'm so glad they printed them, because if they made me put stickers on, I would probably be very angry. You know, you don't want to make someone with 100,000 Twitter followers angry. Space Shuttle was complicated, and it was expensive and awesome. And it's hard, like, I love the Space Shuttle, but I also realize how it was such a mess. Look, we should put these guys out on EVA. Let's stick them up on top of the ship. I say guys. Come on. It's Jessica and Christina, right? And then, you know, Luca's standing down here. I'm going to have Luca standing there. Kaishina. Right, we're going to build 8 of these ginormous solar panels. So this is the sort of repetition part. Yeah, Darm means intestines in German. I did not know that. So does that mean that Darmstadt is like a stadium of giant intestines? Because that would be really odd. I'm going to just do like 8 of these in parallel. So... Oh, no, it's a beer. It's a town beer. I'll move the Delta 4 here. Right, there we go. It's out of reach. I get no place to put the Delta 4. I love my Delta 4. Ah, yes. Okay, so where are we? We're building these things. I'm just trying to build out the pieces in a reasonable fashion. Now I'm being silly. You know, I've never been the most serious person. I've just always made sure that when I talk about stuff that you can seriously trust me. Does that make sense? And honestly, the reason you can trust me is because people have called me out on saying things when I wasn't sure before, and I became terrified of it. It's true, you know, call out YouTubers on their shit and make the world a better place. And if they get super defensive and start making stuff up, then, you know, just stop watching them. Because people should always be able to accept criticism, constructive criticism. If you know, the worst people are the ones that always try to blame their flaws on other people. So that's 6. You know. The manliest name, alright, yes, well, it's what I have. It's what I'm born with. It's not a made-up name. That's the thing. It's funny, every now and then I get people coming and saying, so why are you playing video games? You're a grown man. It's like, yes, and I can teach you the laws of physics through a video game. Like, that's what I do. Okay, so that's 8 of these. Now I need to start adding the next bit. So... it's this thing, huh? Oh, it's like this. Okay, so 2 of these. These take so long to do. Good evening, Launchpad Astronomy. How are you? I always am very happy for your the videos you produce, like the captures. I hope one day you get a decent picture of the ISS, because I think I mentioned that, right? Grown men have to sit on a couch and watch TV. Yes, they have to watch Helmet Ball, right? If you don't watch Helmet Ball, you're some kind of non-man, apparently. I don't know. Seriously, right? Real men can do whatever they want and not be embarrassed by it. And when I say they can do whatever they want, I mean they could do on their own. I mean, they have to obviously. You have to respect everyone around you, but you shouldn't be worried about what other people think of you. If you're in that situation, then you're not a real man. Seriously, be cool with yourself, right? Don't worry. Chill out, relax. Just remember, John Wayne had a pretty girly name, and that didn't stop him. I mean, sure, he changed his name, but, he was... yeah, he had some politically bad situations, but whatever. Like, yeah, I also think he made some amazing westerns. That's just kind of the nature of things. Yeah, okay, wait a sec. I should really, get things on subject. Yes, it's very, How long can we get a Scott Ramble ASMR? Well, the space station. It's a pretty special place. This might actually be the best time for me to go full ASMR. You could put the delta where the other phone is. Here? But then that's totally precarious. Look at that. Look. My delta. Oh yeah. Now I've got the delta theme in my head. I like old chiptune music and delta. Oh. Yeah, delta is one of my favorite. Okay, so I got to do this. There's just a lot of panels to do this on. It is standing up, yes, it's true. And it's not exploding, so we're ahead of the game in terms of Kerbal. Hello, Selka666. Yes. You know what they say, 666 is the number of the beast, but 668 is the neighbor of the beast. It's pronounced hello. Don't forget to strut this up before launching. I don't think you're going to launch the space station on a single launch anymore. It's not like Skylab. Yeah, I watched the first episode of Picard, and I was like, okay, that's interesting, the way they suddenly made Starfleet into a bunch of, space racists. Well, I mean, it is interesting how Starfleet has gone from, boldly going to being totally freaked out by AI. And I thought I'm going to say, I hope that this series is at least as good as the first episode. Because the first episode, while far from perfect, was pretty damn good. And And you know, I think it's still on there. At least if you're in the US, you can watch it. I can't speak for other things. Also, I mean, you saw my smart-ass comment. You know that it's 400 years in the future because they finally managed to put high-density construction in Marin, of all places. The second episode is poor. Okay. I mean, I think it's interesting. The trailers just keep dropping all these callbacks, all these characters from the original TNG and Voyager, obviously. Uh, I hope there's nobody out there that was deliberately avoiding the trailers because, yeah. My favorite Star Trek series is still Deep Space Nine, and I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think that it was by far the best. It had a really good story evolution. It was kind of at that cusp where they saw what Babylon 5 was doing in terms of having a continuous story, a thread that carried on from one episode to the next, and they decided to ape it in their own way, and it made for a great show ultimately. And I'm now missing pieces. I'm supposed to make 8 of these, and I'm now not seeing pieces. Oh boy. Let's just move stuff around. Moving stuff around is always a good way to find pieces that are missing. Start gnawing. I loved Blake 7. Blake 7 is a TV series which everybody that is into sci-fi should know about. It is obviously really low production, but boy, it had some amazing moments. Okay, now we're really in trouble because we are missing critical pieces here. And I'm really starting to sniffle a whole lot more than I should have. I should be. Okay. Not there. Not there. Let's bring the flashlight up. Red Dwarf. So Red Dwarf was a comedy series which was more aware of sci-fi than many sci-fi series. Okay, well I see one piece that landed on the floor. Okay, now we're having trouble because we're missing parts for 2 of the solar panels, and I do not see them. So I think what I'm going to do is start building out the solar panels, and if we end up with we're short 2 panels, then well, I guess then we've got a half-built space station. Okay. Messaging you from all the way at North Ayrshire. How far north in Ayrshire? I think it's actually fascinating that Red Dwarf and what's its name? Oh darn, what's it called? That show. Hello from North Carolina. Do you have any Star Trek crushes? You know, I thought, not really. That would be kind of weird. Okay, so you know what? These go on like this. Yeah, I wouldn't have Star Trek crushes. That's weird. Oh, Salkits. Okay. Yeah, that looks legit. That looks totally legit, right? That's how the things work. But we're missing pieces here. Maybe there's a way for me to circumvent that. So this is pretty easy to do, actually. Do this, and then there's just so many of these pieces. It's interesting, actually, they decided to do it this way. I think they could have done it with different pieces, but... Oh, damn it. Yeah, I'm going to just build until I get down, because I know I probably have these pieces sitting around somewhere, right? So you know there's a funny story about Jerry Ryan and how... I don't know, have you heard about Jerry Ryan in Voyager and how her casting had a fundamentally a huge impact in the world. Basically, I think she was married to some Republican politician, senator, I think. And, you know, obviously when she was cast in the part, she had to move to LA and she was in the show. And while she was in LA, her husband of the time had an affair with somebody else. And that all came to light. And ultimately, that was kind of critical, and it resulted in him losing an election because obviously no one wants to vote for someone that you know has with infidelity, right? So the person that he lost to was a guy called Barack Obama. And yes, so Jerry Ryan getting cast in Star Trek Voyager ultimately helped Barack Obama become president. Funny how things like that happen, huh? Any thoughts on empowering... I don't know, when I was at Hunterston B, I'll tell you what, everybody that I was at... When I was at Hunterston, everyone was incredibly professional, and I certainly... I don't see a problem because I would have to know much more specifically about the thing, about the details. But I worked at Hunterston in the health physics department, and I'll just say that everybody that I knew that worked there was the most professional individual. Thanks, Sam Storer. You're off in the UK. Bye for whatever. Yes, I hope you have a good night's sleep. How long has he been at it? I have been at it for 168 minutes and 16 seconds. It was particularly hard trying to pick the thumbnail. We might be we might be a couple of solar panels short. That's all I'm going to say at this point. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. But there's some problems. I'm sort of building this. It actually is on the next page, what I do next, but I'm largely working on the assumption that I have this thing and get figured out. What size would a Starlink sat be compared to the station? That's a good question. It would be... Honestly, a Starlink satellite would be the size of a 1x1 brick, right? That size. But it would probably have a solar panel sticking out of it that's about that long, right? So it would extrude a solar panel that's fairly substantial. The solar panels wasn't divisible by 2. What? There should be 8 solar panels on the station. Yeah, some solar panels short. Call Baikonur. 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 Yeah, Blake 7 did have cool music. Blake 7 had just... The best thing about Blake 7, what it had was a complete anti-hero in the form of Avon. Right? When Blake actually left, it became a much better show. Because Avon was sort of in charge at that point, and he was clearly always gonna win by whatever means necessary. And the fact that he ended up sort of getting lovey-lovey with Servalan quite a lot was even better. Like, Avon is such a cool character. And the ending to Blake 7 is unparalleled. But, you know, that's me. Lost in Space. I have not watched the new Lost in Space. I'm going to say that. I didn't really watch the old Lost in Space, so I would be a poor judge of character in terms of Lost in Space quality. Oh, wait a second. I'm just looking. I see the pieces. The pieces were in the bags. Found the pieces. Oh, and I found actually the piece that I missed earlier. So I'll need to fix that. It's there. Whatever. Yes, I clearly didn't deal with the bag situation correctly. Thoughts on a 30-meter well, okay, yeah. Yeah, 30-meter telescope is one of these situations where I want everyone to be happy, because I have so much love for Hawaii, and I also want to have respect for traditional local cultures. And I don't know, I think I don't know how this situation can be resolved. That's me, and I'm a person that is very much open to compromise. So I don't know. I don't know what to do about the 30-meter telescope. I mean, it could certainly be relocated to other places ultimately, but it's very, very expensive. I have a 3D printer that's sitting right there behind the Falcon, sorry, not the Falcon Heavy, the Delta IV Heavy. It's a Prusa 3D, and I should probably print something cool with it. Somebody's saying something on Twitter. Get a 30-meter antenna. That's tiny compared to, like, you know, some of the antennas that are out there. There we go. You still want a Sea Dragon launch? Sea Dragon... I'm not a big fan of Sea Dragon as a launch vehicle. I mean, it's like... It's kind of interesting as somebody basically taking, you know, some observation and running it to the logical conclusion, but I'm not convinced it would be a big problem solver, let's say. I mean, I think Falcon 9 is a far more interesting vehicle than Sea Dragon would ever have been. Especially since the payload mass is now getting, you know, sort of ballpark, you know, order of magnitude. Do those orange... No, well, so the back of the panels look sort of gold. So that's what they're going for here. But obviously they're far too thick, and they're doing this for structural rigidity here. What do I think of the Scottish spaceport? I am 100% behind it, because I know that Scotland is awesome. Also, it's, you know, Scotland has a fair amount of free space to do these things. There's no place they could do it in England. Also, you know, people in England... Well, obviously I'm Scottish, so people in Scotland are cooler than people in England. Not that I don't like people in England, but, you know, like, you have to work a little harder. Just kidding. I'm not racist at all. But I won't miss a chance to remind England of how, you know, the royal family really is Scottish. Here we go. 2 more panels left. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger! Danger, Will Robinson! Yeah, that's right. No, they're not also German, because what happened was the German part comes through a Scottish, you know, Sophia, Queen of Bohemia, was Scottish. You don't realize that, right? So she took the Scottishness and made the German family Scottish, right? That's how it worked. So yes, Kaiser Wilhelm was technically Scottish. No, the German royalty of the time was part Scottish, not Germany as a whole. Like Scotland just technically successfully took control of Germany, right? And it wasn't really Germany at the time either. I mean, it was like Prussia and all these other Austria, all the Austro-Hungarian empires. It's really complicated. That you got to realize that a bunch of the countries we think of these days didn't exist back then, right? Kaiser Wilhelm was not really a Ouija because he didn't come from Glasgow, but he was obviously, pretty close to being Scottish. And then, of course, he started, he had that whole World War One thing, and that was a problem. So, let's just not go too far in that direction. And really, World War One was interesting because it was basically a bunch of people that were all saying, "Oh, if anything happens, I've got your back," right? And everybody was like, "Oh, you got a problem? Don't worry, just come to me," right? Everybody had their mates. And suddenly when something went wrong, everybody had to call in all those favors. And nobody really wanted to do that, but they had to. And bang, World War One. That was a big disaster. So now, the favors have become a little less liberally spaced out or whatever. And we've almost got all the solar panels done. Isn't this great? Isn't this great? Solar panels everywhere. Hallelujah. Okay, measuring from Mississippi. Have I ever been to Stennis? No, I have not been to Stennis Space Center. I would love to go, and yes. So now we just have to attach all of these solar panels. Look at this. And these things rotate, right? Look at that. So we can do full-on rotation in 2 axes on all of these. Isn't this wonderful? And I'm going to make sure these things are flat. And you know what? Wait a second. Important moment. I've got to stop. We're here. Oh, that tastes so good. Oh. I forgot. High elbow salute. David Willis, will you visit Stennis to... I would love to... I don't even know when that is. I don't even know when the green run is. I would love to get invited out there to, cover it, but I'm very limited. The problem I have is that I have a day job because I love my day job, right? Let's first of all be very clear about that. But you kind of have to have a day job because of the way health insurance in this country works. And if you've got a family, you need to have health insurance. So my limiting factor isn't funds to go places, but it's, time that I can get from my day job. Look at this gorgeous creation. Wow! Look at that! And this is where I'm going to move it very carefully because, whoa. That is a great model. Oh, man. There's so many cool things I see on this. I'm going to have to do a series with close-ups and pictures, but I love they have the TDRS satellites and the various antenna for talking. I love that there's an antenna here that they use for talking to... this is the docking radar here, right? So yes, and as I said, the space shuttle they bring with it is way too tiny, right? It's minuscule. Right, that's their version of space shuttle, right? Which is too damn small. This is much more realistic, right? But having said that, it's probably too fat. So let's just take a module out of here. Technically, this can actually fit many of the modules in here, but they don't join together like real modules. So if I fold this down, there is actually a docking port on here. And I can have this... Oh, let's take off the landing gear. That's so that it can sit on its truck. So yeah, look, docking bay, the payload bay doors open. Isn't this good? And it comes up and it goes docks. That is much more realistic in terms of the size, isn't it? I'm loving this, but I don't know how to make this join sort of permanently or whatever. Now the other thing I don't know is how I'm going to add the Axiom space modules on the front. So I'm going to have to get those, and I'll extend those out probably before I make a proper video review of the set. The larger shuttle kit, I don't know if I have the box around, but it's a 3-in-1 creator kit. Sorry, I just want to see if I've got the box anywhere. I don't. So it's basically a 3-in-1 kit, and it has the shuttle on a trailer, and the scales are way off, but it also has like a helicopter and whatnot. But that's the one that's much closer. It's a bit fatter, and I'm hoping there's a way to shrink it down. I'll just give you a look at this thing here. I don't think these orange things should be on here, but it does have the maneuvering pods. It has a working payload bay doors. It has a Canadarm. I kind of shifted the stuff around inside the payload bay to make the docking adapter. I also took out the what do you call it? The hatch. I put the hatch on one side. The model they give you has a hatch on both sides. So there's a few things that are different here. So I'm gonna stick these. I think this can go on here like this, right? There we go. I wonder what they suggest. Yeah, so they actually suggest putting these different models on in different places. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. This is like an extra Soyuz. And it suggests like sticking this in the middle here. Which is, oh, look, it actually has a mount. You can't see this maybe, but it actually has a place to mount the little space shuttle. But as I said, the space shuttle is way too small, so it's kind of weird. I'm hoping that somebody makes a lighting kit for this. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I guess we could take this astronaut and stick him out here and pretend he's like on the Russian segment of the station, that they're having a joint spacewalk between the between the Russian and the American section of the station. Does the Falcon 9 second stage do a deorbit retroburn after payload release? Yes, it does if it's in low Earth orbit. No, it doesn't if it's sending it to GTO. Because if they're going to GTO, they worry that restart has an increased chance of causing an explosion, so they don't do it. So they just rely on the natural perturbations to cause it to deorbit over time. This is the shot. How much does that weigh? It's heavier than a beer. Simulate its retirement. We're not going to simulate the retirement of the space station right now. How many drinks? I've just had 2. I am, however, kind of sick. That's the problem. I'd love to get a matching Lego launch tower for the... Yes! I would love that, but it is such a niche item that it will never become an official set. I am hoping that we get a Saturn V scale version of the space shuttle. And also, by the way, if anybody does it, I would love a Saturn V scale version of the International Space Station. That would be pretty sweet in many, many ways. Made in China set, and no, they don't make this in China. The Lego stuff is made in Mexico and Denmark, I believe, right? Where does it say? It doesn't say actually. Lego isn't made in China. Only the cheap knockoffs are made in China. But as I pointed out, for people concerned about the coronavirus, as an expert in beer, you cannot get coronavirus from Corona beer, right? Very important to know. But yes, it is crap beer. There was a Saturn scale shuttle. Yeah, I know. I'm hoping that there's actually there's a space shuttle right now in Lego Ideas finalists, but it's not. It's still waiting review or not waiting review, waiting for yeah. They're doing review right now. So look. This is so close to being perfect. I just need to add some more height to the model. Right? Is it there? Look. Darn. Gotta lift that up somehow. Wait a second. I'm just gonna see if I can do this. Pardon me. I might need to cheat a little, but I think I could almost make this work. Yeah, okay, so that's sort of roughly the right scale. It's not perfect, but I think it's a pretty good model in the end. Is there a Soyuz model? Yes, there is a Soyuz model. It's actually docked on the back here and you can take it off. Oh, darn. There we go. We got a Soyuz. Pardon. The spacecraft all have panels that are way too big. I think they did the smaller shuttle. I'm not sure why they chose to do a smaller shuttle, to be honest. I think they chose a shuttle. I think that probably what they realized was they couldn't dock. This shuttle was obviously a lot smaller and easier to use, right? This one is kind of nice. It's the same scale as the shuttle in the Women of NASA set. So here, for comparison, this one is slightly too fat. It's roughly the right length. It could drop a length a little bit. The fuselage is too wide, it's too tall, but all things being equal, I think I would go with that design rather than the one they had. I think they just tried to make it a cost-effective set, and that would have knocked the price up another $10. That's probably what it is. Guys, it is like 10 to 8, and I don't know, I've spent far too much time on this. And I've really appreciated everybody turning up and having, asking questions and stuff. Does the camera add £10? Yeah, my camera adds £10. Makes me really big. Well, Christopher Ruga designed the original, but Lego then, they iterate on the design. It's very clear with the Lego design of the Saturn V that Lego did some amazing work modifying and perfecting that set. The ISS, I'm not sure how much change happened, but definitely there was a lot of good stuff, a lot of stuff they did. So, yes. Okay. What ships would I want to be made? As I said, I want a really good space shuttle. I want a space shuttle that's the same scale as a Saturn V. But anyway, yeah, thanks for turning up for this magnificent event, this debut of my awesome space station. Look at that. Look at this thing. It's so beautiful. Has so much detail, so many amazing things, and of course it has the Canadarm, making a Canadian salute because Canada does the arm so well, and we gotta respect Canada's arm. Can we have a shout out for Canada? Because, Canada's pretty cool, actually. I don't know how to dock. The other capsules you can't dock to the model because they're not possible. Actually, look, wait a second. I can cheat. I can dock this part. Look, this one. Hold on. Let me fix it. Gotta do something here. I know, I'm trying to say goodnight, but... Come on. No? I'm trying to make this... There we go. There we go. Now, yeah, this one can dock on the front here to PMA 2, I believe. I might have got that one wrong. There, it's docked on the front now. Not quite, but close enough. See? so well designed. The cupola is under here. This is where I'm gonna have to take it off the stand so you can see the cupola, right? This is where I'm gonna be very careful in holding this. But yeah, look, you can see the underside there. And there is the cupola module, right? Do you see it? No, maybe you don't see it because there's a panel in the way. There, now I've moved the panels. Now you can see it, right? And also, next to it, can you see the spherical Bigelow expandable activity module, the spherical one? That's there. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to have to shut this stream down. Thanks for everybody who turned up. Seriously, I was amazed by how many people just turn up for this like silly Lego build thing, but it was really a nice night. And I'm gonna have some videos for you soon. I'm gonna try and get it done between Helmet Ball. Now build it in KSP. Boy. There we go. Let's do that. That. Thank you very much. As I said, it's been a pleasure for everyone. Fly safe. High elbow salute. How do I stop this damn thing? Now I don't know how to end this thing. Isn't that odd? Oh, I gotta get it off the stand. Oh, there's an X button in the corner, right? X. Oh, are you sure you want to stop live streaming? Yes, I want to stop live streaming. Fly safe, everyone.